Hey friends, hey meisters, welcome back to more Danganronpa V3. The 2 has finally gone. You know what, I probably shouldn't finish that sentence, otherwise I'll jinx myself and that sham of a god, that demon, will repossess someone else. I seriously hope we're finally finished with a 2, because all the stories I've read about gods and meisters tell me of how much of a rueful, salty being they can be. I don't want to experience God's wrath. I've had that enough in games so far. Anyways, meisters, there was a few other things last episode other than the evidence that I wanted to talk about. One was this case has a lot of similarities to a certain case in Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, if you meisters know what I mean. Mainly the fact that we have these two characters vying for another's attention only for them to die. Horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. Angie I didn't really care for, but Tenko I did. We had a familiar of Zero, classic Sunduri relationship going on, you know? I was that guy in the Mirror of Zero that was always getting horrible things done to him. And he hated the girl at first, and then slowly started to like her despite all those horrible things. I'll miss Tenko calling me a degenerate in the mornings and different times of the day. I'll miss her ignoring my greetings in the mornings, meisters. I'm going to miss Tenko a fair bit. Mind you, I'm probably not as torn up about it all as Himiko. Like, that poor small girl, I feel so bad for her. Like, meisters, first she gets blamed for Ryoma's death. Then the two people she looks up to the most die, and then we blame her for it. They're deaf too. I feel like such an a-hole now after that. Like, jeez, that poor small girl. I don't know how she's even holding herself together. I'll protect Himiko. That's what I've resolved. Meisters, you remember how the cross piece was cut up from under the floorboard? And you remember how we incriminated Himiko based on the fact that she insisted we use the center room that appeared to have a trap laid? Well, we also have Kokichi's account, Bloody Kokichi's account, in fact, where he found out that the other rooms seemed to be trapped in a similar fashion. Unfortunately, he stepped on the board and got smashed in the face in a Looney Tunes-esque fashion. Thankfully, he's not dead. That's also why I think he's not really likely to be the killer, as I don't know what killer would step in their own trap like that. But it also makes it less likely the fact that Himiko's the killer. And if we talk about my theory on Himiko, it's kind of ridiculous if you think about it. She would have had to pop that floorboard up where she was standing, go beneath the floor, pop up a separate floorboard, grab a scythe, somehow find Tenko's neck in the darkness, and then somehow mitigate all the blood that would have fallen on top of her. It just doesn't make sense or add up. What does make sense is based on what we've heard from Kokichi. It really gave me some ideas here, meisters. So let's start from there. So the whole theory starts at the forehead injury and the bloody duct tape. First and foremost, this tells me the same person was responsible for both deaths. The key piece of evidence here is the dried blood. It tells us that the forehead injury came much before the blow that actually killed her at 2 a.m. We then also have, let me go over to it, the loose floorboard with the dried blood on it and the dried blood beneath the floor, which is kind of interesting because that links us back to Tenko's death prior to it happening with Angie's body. So what this tells me is a bit of a story. Basically, the killer was fixing up his trap, cutting those cross pieces in the floorboard, right around probably the time Angie had finished her preparations for the summoning of the student ritual, so, you know, we could summon one of the students back from the dead. However, upon her just going down the stairs, she probably heard noises coming from these rooms, happened upon them to see what was going on, and then the killer hit her in the face with the board, explaining the wound to her head, and the lacerations because the blood's all over the corner of it. They then replaced it the opposite way so that we didn't see the blood, and moved her body back to her lab. That's where they set up the horrific scene of the various different effigies hanging from the roof. And I don't know about you, but I only know one person who's really good with ropes and kink stuff, just saying. But something else that was kind of interesting about this was two things. This is a locked room murder mystery, so we have to figure out how they locked the room and or got out, which I have some theories on. Then we also have the gold leaf katana, which I think is a red herring. Something to lead us away from thinking that the killer could possibly be Kokichi, Korekiyo, or ourselves. The reason for that is we all have an alibi. We knew about the gold flaking off, and we would not use that katana as it would lead back to us in this case, right? But if you think about it, there's only one person that has something on their hands at all times, and that's Korekiyo. And that's not us even talking about the caged child ritual, which was kind of strange in itself. Because Kibo insists that we have to have a dark room, so we could have used any of those rooms and it wouldn't have mattered to his plan, his master plan. The strange thing about the caged child ritual is I don't remember anything about a marker stone being mentioned, not specifically, so that was kind of strange, being as Korekiyo is the one that set everything up with all the preparations and everything that we need. And then there's the fact that we have the Caged Child song, which we knew nothing about prior and it wasn't listed in the book. Korekiyo could have made changes to that, made it longer, shorter, as he deemed necessary, and then had the time to perform the murder. Now, there's a few other things, like I said, mainly the marker stone that would have marked where Tenko's head is, but something I found really strange when I was looking through the evidence is the iron cage. For some reason, the iron cage says that, or at least looks, or at least seems like it wouldn't be able to fit the blade of the scythe through it. But specifically during the investigation, Maki tells us that would definitely fit into there, and that we could also hide it within our clothes. Strange, no, because we had a certain someone walk up with a large sheet. We could have simply, very easily positioned that scythe blade above Tenko's head based on that marker he had on the ground, which would also mark the mechanism that he used later. But what he would have done simply from there is lay the sheet over top and we would be none the wiser. Tenko would be in almost absolute darkness and not be able to notice the blade above her head, and that would give him the opportunity to kill her. So basically, when we looked at that floorboard, that loose floorboard earlier based on Kokichi's account, we know that its other side's going to fly up when it's stomped upon, because he did that just himself. And what would this do, Meisters? Well, this would knock Tenko's head up into the scythe, creating the murder. Crazy, no? That's what I was thinking, because that's all my suspicions were drawn to based on all the information I was thinking about. And then we have the fact that we have Angie still in a locked room murder mystery, so we need to talk about that. There was two things that came to mind. When we were below the floorboard, we saw that there was a gap in the grating leading to the other room, but we never explored that. Because if we looked around from the other room that we were in, we noticed that there was more than enough room for you to go beneath the floorboards in the hallway and other rooms. However, they were separated by a grating that was kind of degraded in a certain section, so you could easily climb in between these two rooms and maybe possibly into the other rooms. So I think that the killer may have very well took her body back, tried up a floorboard after locking the room and leaving that way, but that's a little nonsensical in my mind at least. What I think is more likely is that you have this latch lock, and it's actually a similar lock to what I had in my house on one of my 3 doors growing up as a child. So the lock itself is very easy to unlock or slide, and it moves at the slightest touch. So the one I had, you could engage it partly or at least engage it almost fully, and you could shut the door, and about 70% of the time, the lock itself would shut on you. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times that I somehow locked myself out of my house by accident. I didn't have my keys and I was just simply going into the backyard. Like, I think that's definitely a valid thing that could have happened here to make the locked room murder mystery happen. All you would have to do is just try to open it. Like, yeah, it's locked, perfect, let's go. And then no one would be any the wiser about it either. So I thought those were 2 really cool theories, and those are my ideas and thoughts behind everything. So far, I'm really leaning to Korekiyo, but you know, I could be 100% wrong. It is Danganronpa, Meisters. So, without further ado, I think it's time we go into the trial for some chills, thrills, and kills! Oh dear. It would appear we have all gathered, but it seems there are less and less of us.
Oh.
This friends mean it much harder to solve mystery.
Don't worry.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure you've gotten a little smarter by now, Gunter boy. Yeah, Gunter do his best to help. I want you to graduate from super idiot level to at least Kaito idiot level. Hey, that's offensive.
What?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I'm smart,
Are
man.
you okay?
More importantly, are you okay, Kaito?
Ah.
Yeah, I'm feeling better now, but whoa. Maki roll sure does pack a punch.
I don't know.
It's your fault. Well, yeah, you did hug her out of nowhere. You don't need to worry about our dwindling numbers. Only dipshits have died so far.
That being said,
I know it's a tall order, but try to use your brains this time so I don't have to use mine.
booyah!
These golden brain cells of mine are a gift to the entire world.
Unacceptable.
It's as though every time you open your mouth, you become less likable. Don't worry, Korekiyo, she'll grow on you.
Rest in peace.
Atua, please lend us our power. No, don't talk about Atua,
But-
not my presence. It may be difficult for us to rely on Atua, considering what happened to Angie, whom Atua loved most of all.
Well, you know.
We shouldn't have relied on Atua in the first place, you idiots. But seriously, it's kind of funny seeing a robot believe in God, especially Atua, right?
I also.
So what? Robots can believe in God.
Indeed.
Actually, before I even met Angie, I had a similar experience. Hearing voices, I mean, oh gosh. I'm hoping that's just like radio interference, or it's like Adam the beginning. or it's just his inner robo voice. Because if it's a 2, I'm gonna break a table over his head and we'll have another murder on our hands. You might call it an inner voice. It tells me whenever I'm in trouble.
Got a minute?
How long are you going to say that for? A 2 and ghosts don't matter right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't care about your ghost and your shell. The trial this time is gonna be rough. We got caught in Monokuma's trap. His trap?
That's right.
You probably made the 4th floor so scary on purpose to prevent me from investigating.
Oh,
Definitely,
right
that is
already.
definitely it. Yes, let's go with that. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. Guys, give me
Hey,
this
so-
one. Shuichi, say something. Back me up, bro.
Huh?
What should I say? I can't say anything, Kaito. You totally did all the investigating, guys. Actually, we did nothing, and it was all Kaito. Jeez. Anyways, Korekiyo, what do you got to say about this? Why did the seance fail? Never did figure out why. I see, you still can't... He's still more interested in that than the case. Well, okay. You'd be interested in that, Korekiyo.
Damn.
The trial is gonna be rough since I couldn't do any investigating. I know, right? Without your golden brains, we're in trouble. I respected Angie and Tenko so much since the moment we met.
Shut up!
Shut up, nothing's gonna be solved by crying about it. Or lying
Right
about it.
already.
Besides, that's a lie, wasn't it?
It's a lie.
Yep, you guys have me figured out already, so there's no point in keeping up the act. Oh gosh, Kokichi never changes no matter what situation he's in. Hey, at least he's one constant. Constants are good in these
Listen up.
situations, if you ask me. Try using your brain so I don't have to. Oh yes, Mia, we will. Don't you worry. You know what actually pisses me off? When I was
Please
looking
wait.
through the past trials, Mew was right for all the wrong reasons when she accused people. Like, damn it, Mew. That better not be a thing. It's true, though I do not know it can be attributed to God per se. I can hear an inner voice guiding me when I don't know what to do. Like I said, better not be a 2 or you're dead. We'll drown you in that pool or rewire your circuits to fry your circuit boards. I can't explain why, but I believe that his voice will lead me to hope as long as I listen to it.
On your knees.
Shut up! Why the hell's a robot talking about God anyways? It's unseemly.
You're so dumb.
That inner voice is probably just a radio or something like in taxis and stuff.
That is not
That's
funny.
actually kind of funny. It wasn't wise of me to confide in you all. It was Kibo. You should expect as much from us. Oh, Himiko, you small girl, cheer up. Don't you do his best to help? So in the end, the culprit plainly was. Oh no, it's nothing. We can talk about it once the trial starts.
Okay.
2 and ghosts don't matter right now. The culprit is among us. Right, Maki. Well, there's nothing else we can do, so let's move on to the trial. Doom, gloom, and drum. Mumo, rumble, rumble, rumble. Get ready! Come on, this way. Okay, Monokuma, we're coming. I still can't get over that. I just love that whole little animation scene so much. Though I will say I missed the one from Danganronpa 2 where we literally had a pathway, an escalator jump out of a mouth statue. As usual, we walk towards the elevator in silence. Despairing silence. As soon as we remaining survivors stepped aboard, I always keep trying to read it in like a spectator's point of view, like the remaining survivors. Meister, it's time for the countdown. Countdown to despair. We descended. Perhaps because there were fewer of us, the elevator seemed to move faster. And so we fell, faster and faster, downwards into the black. Into the void called Monokuma's trial. The elevator stopped, and then just like always, just parted slowly. The light that shined on us from the other side, the bright light of our future. Or is it just a false hope? A light of despair.
Uh-oh.
Boy, they look really depressed. Must be because there's even less participants now. Don't say they look depressed. You'll make Mono damn sad. Yes, I'm super sad. As much as I'd love to keep hearing this adorable back and forth.
Now,
Let's hurry up and get this thing started.
extreme.
At last, the class trial will begin. I hope you enjoy it to your heart's content. Oh, Monokuma. I'll enjoy it to the fact that my heart explodes, or to that point. The third class trial was about to begin. Angie Naga, the ultimate who cares, is dead. She created the Ultimate Academy Student Council to try to prevent the killing game, but I think that probably just expedited it. Good job, Angie. Then Tenko Chabashira. Hiya, the Ultimate Aikido Master. She hated men, but I knew that she hated the terrible killing game even more, that she was secretly tsundere. She loved us, man. The two of them were killed before trying to stop the killing. And who was the one that killed them? Was it one person? Or was it two people? Well, we talked about the fact that I think it's one, but hey, we'll see. We need to pin that down in this class trial. In order to live, we have to find the truth. Yes, we must reach out for the truth. Everyone starts breaking into song. Now we'll fight for it. We'll fight with truth and lies in this class trial. What a perfect time to save, Meisters. My hard drive was almost full. Skill-wise, we haven't really changed any things. I didn't have enough fragments for the skills I wanted, so I left that alone, despite all the slots we have. Difficulty is on normal as always, and we are about to dive into the class trial. It's time for some more rules, jills, and kills! Class trial's in session! All rise!
Ahem. Now then, let's begin with the basic explanation of the class trial.
We have to, Dad. We do this every damn time, and I'm sick of it. If I was Overlord, things would be done differently.
During the trial, you'll present your arguments for who the culprit is, and vote for who done it. Vote correctly, and only the blackened will be punished. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will graduate from this academy. Also, refusing to vote will result in your death, so you better vote for someone. Now, smiles, everyone! It's showtime! Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Whoops, I mean crazy, noisy, bizarre trial underway!
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time. Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough investigation.
Yes, it's definitely Monokuma's fault. Let's go with that.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
That's great. That actually reminds me of a Space Dandy.
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you two weirdos.
Come on, Kaito, that was perfection. Can't you see the ship? It's already hit me in the face. Monokuma x Oma. Hashtag confirmed.
Who did it? Who killed Angie and Tenko?
Do not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be two killers.
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
Hmm? What do you mean?
The transfer student.
Oh my gosh, Samugi's so cute. She's even doing that thing like, I'm a spooky ghost. Ooh. I love Samugi so much.
Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Zoinks! Like, how can you talk about that stuff, man?
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
Is it even possible for a revived corpse to be the culprit? Well, in the interest of being thorough, I should clear things up here. I'm gonna do that with what? An unstopped debate! Of course. Time to start. What are the bullets we have? Monokuma File 3, forehead injury, effigies hung upside
This crime
down,
was committed
and
by
the
recently
Necronomicon.
deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates.
I love zombies.
Oh!
Oh, it can't be real, it can't be real, it can't be real.
So, ritual did work?
Who was resurrected, I wonder?
Angie did say she was gonna bring Rantaro back.
That's true, she did say that.
Rantaro was resurrected. The culprit is the late Rantaro Amami.
Please, stop it!
Would you help say something? Well, we got your back, Kaito. This is kind of ridiculous, but disregarding that, this isn't about believing and reviving the dead. I have to focus on their statements. Meisters, I'm not sure if you remember, when we read the Necronomicon, it did say something that clearly contradicts what they're saying in the trial here. Basically, what the Necronomicon says is that we need to burn the book and use the ashes to complete the ritual, which was never done. So I have an idea of what we need to do and where it needs to go. Were all those statements correct? Alright, let's select our Necronomicon and we'll speed this up. I love zombies.
Ritual.
No, it did not. It wasn't even completed.
That's wrong!
Oh, we got the V counter. Royoma helping out from beyond the grave. Screw that white noise. I love it so much. It's so good.
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded. According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us, you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution. Be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning.
We don't want to use it. We're doing another suicide case. We've done that enough already.
Sprinkle the ashes of the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times. Make sure to click your heels.
If Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Then, going to think Rantaro probably not culprit.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Now hold on a second! I can't let that comment stand! Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life. But it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
Of course it is, Monokuma.
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
The impossible is possible! You said it yourself, Kaito! I'm so bad.
But it's true! I never lie about motives.
Daddy said so he can't be wrong. Raising the dead is totally possible.
Man, I can't believe you guys wasted such a perfectly good motive. You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
I was gonna say.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
Monodaro, back out of that sentence right now. You're dead, you bastard. You hear me? Dead.
Oh? So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
There's no way it's possible!
There's no way that could happen, idiots. Monokuma is trying to confuse us. Let's hurry up and find out who the blackened is.
If our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Who? Who did it?
Step aside, Half-Pint. I'll handle this. I don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kiyo murdered Angie.
Okay, Meisters, maybe this is the best place to point this out. But I was editing and reviewing the last 2 trials. I noticed that she's been right every time so far. Mind you, right for the wrong reasons, but we'll see if that's still a trend.
What? Why?
Like, I swear, she might have the ultimate intuition on top of the ultimate mechanic skill set, and if so, she's 2 stacked, man. 2 stacked.
Don't play dumb with me, Creepshow. I already know what happened.
Okay, well, let's hear it, Mew. See if you're right for the wrong reasons again this time. Art Lab's front door, Art Lab's back door, Kokichi's lockpicking, and Tsunugi's account.
And it was found in Kiyo's research lab.
Indeed.
Which makes you, Kiyo, automatically suspicious.
Thought he was a little suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kiyo.
I
It is
did
true.
not care about some katana.
What? Yes, you did.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm.
Oh my gosh. Look at
Went to
that.
the classroom,
Perfect.
broke in, and murdered the fuck out of Angie. Oh yeah, I'm a fucking genius.
Well, not quite Angie. Or not Angie, Miyu, I don't think that's quite right. Is Korekiyo really the culprit? Does that story fit the facts of the case? We should think about it from the beginning. So what this made me think about so far is when we looked at the doors, there was no damage and it was very clear that nothing was broken. So I don't understand where she got the he broke in and then killed the crap out of Angie. That doesn't make any sense. But I do remember Tsumugi mentioning that Angie would only open the door for the student council, or one of the student council members. This leaves us with two options. The first option is that a member of the student council had Angie open up the door. The second option is that Angie left the room of her own accord after she finished setting up for the ritual, which was part of my initial theory. These are the two things that come to mind, so I think we might have to use Samugi's account here.
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kiyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kiyo, automatically suspicious. But anyone could have taken a katana, you see.
Good counter, actually, though.
With the murder weapon. You were the only one who turned out that Kiyo.
That's so true, and he's obviously lying here. Me and Kokichi both know it.
Shit-eating worm.
It's still fantastic.
Went to the classroom.
You mean use V? That sounded horrible. Doesn't matter, we got the V counter.
No, Kiyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab. Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
Yeah. Before Angie locked herself up in her research lab, she said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
And Kiyo is not a member. She wouldn't have opened the door for him.
Kiyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
I had no desire to kill her in the first place.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh sure, Miyu. That was just your ultimate intuition kicking in and you giving us an ultimate guess.
Oh, how clever!
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
The remaining student council members are Gonta, Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie.
I'm not the only one thinking that, I see.
I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
I like to agree with him, but he sounds like he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, of course!
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
I don't think Gonta would do it. I will never, ever believe that Gonta would kill someone. He's too much of a gentleman.
Yep. The culprit is one of those 3 people.
You mean one of those 2 people? 'Cause a robot ain't people, Jack!
Hey, that's Oma's line.
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
What ifs? The culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi? Well...
I agree, these are a little bit hasty. Where's your evidence?
No, not Gonta! Gonta would never kill Angie!
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Wait, how does that clear you of suspicion?
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone! Torture Gonta if you don't believe!
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez.
Oh no, I sense a mass panic debate coming on.
Gonta not culprit!
Not the culprit!
Okay, we just gotta listen carefully, concentrate, and maybe we can do this. Mass panic debate! Start! Alright, so we got Art Lab's backdoor, Kokichi's lockpicking, Necronomicon, and Tsumigi's account.
Possibilities.
You can probably discredit the Necronomicon. Oh gosh, shut up, Gonta. As we already used that once.
Totally impossible.
We'll see.
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members had access.
Look, I don't know who the culprit
I didn't know
is,
robots told such boring lies.
but it's definitely not me.
Is that a robophobic remark?
It is not Kibo. Promise, not robophobic. Alrighty, so there were several suspicious statements, but one is obviously inconsistent. Well, Meisters, I think I have a bit of an idea of what we need to use here. So we're looking for the inconsistency from what this is saying. And that big inconsistency right now is I'm pretty sure when Oma said that only the student council could have entered that room. As that's clearly not true, as he was able to lockpick it and enter the room at any time if he wanted to. So let's try that and we'll see whether it's right. I'll listen carefully, sort out the statements in my head, and find the answer. And we'll fire it off right through the white noise.
Surely there must be suspects outside the student
Shut up, Gonta.
Council!
That's utterly impossible.
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members.
There it is. Come on, give me almost V.
I heard it!
Perfect. My reasoning is sound.
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to Kyo. He couldn't have done it, but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
Kokichi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. Click, click. Oh yeah, open for me, baby. Open says me. Yep, I remembered it right. It's such a fantastic line.
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it. I killed Angie.
What? Yeah, I'm not the only one thrown off by that.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie. The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
It's very obviously sarcastic. He has to be lying. He has to be.
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
No, he's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm certain of it.
No, definitely not a lie. I killed Angie.
You had to go, no, you had to.
Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit, how did you lock the room?
Huh? It's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
For a few reasons I can think of.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
What different method? Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
You know what? I can't even get mad at that. That was a perfect line. Yes, Mew, yes.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was.
I think I know what he's talking about. It can't be the front door because there wasn't any residue from the katana blade. The katana blade had like a flaking thing on it, but there was on the back door. There was very clearly gold flake there.
That's it! The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
The tool that the culprit used to lock the sliding door from outside was... That's a good question, because when I went for the theory, I had assumed that they just, because I had a very similar sliding lock when I was growing up as that one, and basically I'd assumed that they just engaged the lock partly and shut the door of some force and it locked itself. But I can't count the times I've actually been locked in my own place doing that when I was a kid. Huh. Oh, they can't mean... You know what, we completely overlooked this, but I guess we'll see here in a minute. Because what I'm thinking here is, not the scythe, that's a scythe, I don't want that. But if you think about it, there was a katana stuck in Kaede's body. That's actually kind of interesting if that's what they did. But what I'm doing is I'm just like going through these lightly, hoping we can find anything, because I don't want to miss any of the Monokumas again. Because last time we missed them in a trial like this, I don't want that to happen. Yes, he is here! Monokuma, you get out of there. Yes, I knew he was hiding in one of these trials. I just have to make sure, but now we need to... Gosh, we lost some time doing that, though, and looking around. I gotta do this quick. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, we got it. It was the katana then.
I see it.
That's the only other thing that makes sense. It was stabbed in Coyote's body, and it should theoretically swing close enough, is what I'm thinking, to hit that
Gold
lock.
leaf katana that was stabbed into Coyote's effigy.
That's absolutely silly, though, because I originally thought that it might have just been a red herring. But that makes a lot of sense how you think about it, because initially I just thought they used it, they killed them, and then the gold flaking came off on their hand when they tried to fiddle with the lock to get it to lock when it shut, like I thought. But this is definitely a thing I hadn't considered.
The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock because...
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Damn it, Monokuma, don't make me cry. Do not bring up the first game. Please do not.
Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
My walls.
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
On a side note, though, isn't this like a totally different universe from what I understand? Whatever.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with the katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all.
Indeed.
The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigies hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No, it wasn't mentioned in the book.
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
Different purpose? What could that have been? The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. If I do that, the way the culprit locked the room should be clear. I already have a rough idea of Eisters. Like I said, it sounds absolutely ridiculous to me, but what we can assume is that katana was basically stabbed within Coyote's effigy, and they somehow used that to lock the door because it was so easily locked. That's what I'm thinking. And the only thing that makes sense is maybe like gave it a really good span and like ran out the door. But, you know, I could be entirely wrong. This game already brought up something I didn't think would be a thing, because I thought using a katana to lock the door would be absolutely ridiculous. But hey, I guess we'll find out while we jam out to this awesome soundtrack. Dodge these cars. In, out, in, out, in, out. Can't catch me. Oh, come on, we need one more block. Got it. Who turned the handle of the sliding lock, or what turned the handle of the sliding lock? What are going to be our answers we can select? Which stripper will we hit? The effigy's hand. That would be cool, but I don't think that's the one we need. I'm pretty sure it's the katana's hilt. That was the only thing that stuck out long enough to actually hit it. Good, fantastic.
Oh, that's my main girl you picked up. That's best girl. That's definitely, gosh, I forget her name again. I guess I was too drunk. Too much honey.
Something else I noticed here is sometimes these little boxes contain more than one letter, and they contain like 2 or 3 sometimes, which kind of throws me off when I'm trying to guess them. So it's always best off just to wait. Bam, okay, we're getting close. Cruising down the highway with Monokuma's main girl. Cruising down the highway to despair. That hopefully leads to hope. Alright. What was done to make the katana turn the lock? Good question. Thinking time. We have 2 options. Katana was stabbed into the effigy. Sliding lock was tampered with. It wasn't tampered with. We know it was easily moved beforehand. The katana had to be in the effigy to reach the lock in the first place, if we're to assume that theory is right. Next question. Alright, let's gather up the letters and see what it is. Seriously though, I still can't believe that. I still think that's absolutely ridiculous. Then again, we've seen pretty ridiculous things done in the previous games too. That's just a much larger question, isn't it? Alright, well, we'll solve that by gathering every single letter. I will not miss one. Oh gosh, I just smashed the wall. I think that's the first time I hit the wall like that yet. Oh, come on, car. Please, car. Gosh damn, you're in the way, you bugger. Stupid car's not driving fast enough. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? Okay, thinking time. And Shripper is the right one to pick up. Alright, spinning it, swinging it back and forth, and making it... Those two are absolutely ridiculous. Spinning it makes the most sense here. Good, fantastic. Oh, is this done? It was done with the katana's hilt. Well, it was stabbed into the effigy by spinning it, making it hit the lock. That's certainly something I feel is a little out of left field, but hey, whatever.
The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist. Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way.
I guess that's true. It's kind of like, you know, spinning up a swing set. You let it go and it starts out slow and then slowly gets faster. So the culprit would just have to be really quick with this case. Or in this case.
And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place?
I still think this is ridiculous. Like, the katana should have flew out of the body. It's in a wax doll.
The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope, and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock. And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us.
That's actually pretty fantastic.
Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
It certainly could have, from what we know.
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up so we'd think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
Well, I didn't until they brought it up.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
They also disregarding what I said. If they used the katana to kill Angie, they'd have that gold leaf on their hand and they would probably flake it off on whatever they touched. Just saying.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Lie!
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
I'm not surprised.
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
No, because we know you're a big fat liar.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Okay, I'll start right now.
Oh, please don't.
Alright, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
You. I can't hold it up anymore.
Oh no!
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Come, dumpster!
Wow! You're so savage.
Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
You freaking masochist.
What should we talk about now?
Yeah, Gunta, let's change the subject before this goes too far.
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. It's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect? I never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider! Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
Fine, go ghosts. Or, what is that again? Go suspect rangers!
We might catch them with their pants down!
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers, what should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
Huh? Oh, don't start. Himiko, you're gonna break my heart if you do.
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie's?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first blackened responsible for the first victim. We've got to figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless.
No! What the hell? It also has information that's prevalent.
Would you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Himiko?
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko...
Oh, she's finally showing her emotions. It made me cry.
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give 2 shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
Hey, you asshole.
No, it's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously! It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth.
Oh, one of our best boys are leading the charge.
I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito! Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is... Death Curse!
Oh no.
Please, Himiko, you'll be another blackened if you'd kill someone.
Suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Yeah.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run! I won't forgive something so messed up!
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too!
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
Again, I'll say I don't think we are. It's kind of important.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
Kaito!
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
You're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Is he talking about Kyo? I guess he's right. He is right. That is a little suspicious.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Yes, you're right about that.
Tancrotch!
The people who attended the seance were... gosh darn it. Korekiyo, Shuichi, Himiko, and Kokichi. That is it.
That's it! It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
Yep, because we kicked out the robot.
So those four are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the four is really... Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
We actually talked about this. We actually did. That was one of my reasons for suspecting her at first as well. However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room, yeah. The middle room's always best for stuff like this. Very well. I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
Point of entry from outside he must be referring to. I know exactly what he's referring to. Is this the hole in the corner? Barely see it, but I think it was in this side. Alright? Yeah. That's strange that he would bring that up.
You're talking about under the floor, right?
I don't remember him going under there to investigate it either.
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person could move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me.
Are we incriminating Kibo now? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Okay, well, if you say so. If you say so. You will see it beautifully. Okay, the cage shall loose floorboard, Kibo's flashlight function in the hole in the corner.
By crawling under the floor.
But it was
Okay.
black during the seance.
Exactly.
How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance!
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second.
All the buttons on his shirt shine. That's fantastic. Not quite the nipples I was hoping for, but close enough. It's true that with a little light you can move around on the floor, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because Kibo's light was ridiculously bright. It was brighter than both those candles put together. But is that even possible? So what that makes me think is, if it wasn't, like, with that hole in the corner, and then on top of that, when they knocked the floorboard out, wouldn't light leak through and we would have seen it? That's what's the strange part about all
The culprit
this.
sneaked in during the seance.
Okay, so I think we need to use the hole in the
By
corner.
crawling under the floor.
It was pitch black
We need to
during the
confront
seance.
the light situation that they're going on here.
Floor.
Because it wasn't the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
I think this is it.
Do it!
That's wrong!
Ah, yes! You would have seen it. Like that corny game.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
Well, he's not a high-tech robot.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot.
And you're probably less advanced than a smartphone.
My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
Yeah, quit shining on, will ya?
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch-black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from underfloor.
We thought the same thing, but it's a good thing Gonta brought that up.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that. That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
I doubt there'd be enough light to see through a crack in a floorboard.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
Oh no! Monokuma, why'd you even have to mention it?
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
That's true as well.
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during Seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she? How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
This is the point of no return, Tenko. At this point, you mustn't speak. Yeah, I do remember that as well. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
But she was inside cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
Then she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads.
You. I'm 100% confident she was killed during the seance.
Huh? Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think!
Okay.
If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do that then. Maybe it'll actually work. Gosh, that was a bad way to put it, though, Tenko, as always.
When Tenko got killed,
Or not Tenko, Mew.
it wasn't during the seance.
Arcastone, iron cage, white sheet, dog
It
statue.
could not have been done at any other time.
Remember the dog statue?
She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
Mm-hmm.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
Why are you getting turned on
So
by
who
this?
lifted the cage?
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit!
There's no down!
Gosh. Oh. Tenko not being killed during the seance. That might not be impossible, but there's no evidence for it. The strange thing is, that doesn't make a lot of sense either, because when the cage was lifted, we clearly saw that she was already dead, or at least bleeding. So that would have had to have been done at least before the white sheet was lifted. That's the only thing that makes sense there.
When Tenko got killed,
So, let's use the white sheet, and we'll contradict what they're saying.
It could not have been done at any other time.
She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Ooh.
What?
That's wrong!
That is wrong. That doesn't make any sense, Gonta. Oh, we got Gonta's V finally.
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted.
Guess that's another reason as well.
If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right here!
What? Are you arguing with us?
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
What?
Are you just saying that because you don't want us to prove you wrong?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
Okay. We'll just do our best to prove you wrong. It's time for the rebuttal showdown, Truth Blade section. A marker stone, loose forward, iron cage, sickle under the floor.
Died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted.
I'm actually going to pause there for a second and check that. So they said the marker stone was one, the loose floorboard, and what's it, the iron cage?
Was the moment the
And the
culprit
sickle under the
chose
floor.
to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage! They stuck the thin blade through the gap, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
Blood red.
But the
blood of
weapon
the
was a
innocent.
sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
True. It's a weird shape of the sickle that would
blade's all you
stop
need.
it from doing that.
If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit, and that's none other than Kiyo!
I can see what she's getting at, but I don't think she's quite right. There has to be a hole in Miu's logic somewhere. All I have to do is show the evidence that will counter Miu's claims. Huh.
Blade's all you need!
I don't think that's the case. I think that has to do with the noise we heard earlier and the loose floorboard more.
It'd be
She didn't
long
talk
enough
about
to
that,
reach
but the
Tenko,
marker stone is probably a key piece of
sitting in
evidence
there
here,
with
like I
her neck
mentioned
all
earlier.
exposed.
Let's try it.
I
was right.
Your words. Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage.
No, she was sitting face down, ass up. Okay, you know what? I won't finish that because that's a song reference. But she was basically crouched in like a don't hit me position. Feudal position, I think. Something like that.
She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone.
Mm-hmm.
And the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Miu. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, God, no, you're not supposed to agree. Oh, you're too innocent.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, for a living person.
Huh?
What do you want about?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
Back into the realm of the ridiculous, I see. Okay, let's play along with this.
What are you talking about? That's not possible!
We don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that! Screw spirits!
Yeah, how could you talk about ghosts, Zoiks?
Stop that now.
Maki, hold me! Do you want to die, you idiot?
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for revenge?
Like I said, that's impossible! Spirits can't be culprits!
Logic.
Then explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done that!
Wait! I know! What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage? If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance!
No. If there was someone else in the cage, we would have
I
noticed.
agree with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
You do? You do? Yuichi, you're becoming one. We play the same game.
There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, I think I do. The they she's referring to. They can't mean suicide, can they? I think that's what she's hinting at.
I
Am I
believe
right?
Maki is referring to Tenko herself.
Okay, I was right.
What did you say? Are you saying Tenko was the culprit?
She committed suicide.
Suicide?
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out.
You're really going down this rabbit hole.
She volunteered to be in the cage, and then stabbed herself during the seance. It wouldn't matter how dark the room was.
But the sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right? If Tenko had stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
He was actually making a very valid point, and it was over way in the corner of the room.
Oh my god. Mew actually said something smart.
I'm as surprised as you are.
Perhaps that explains why the floorboard was removed. After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
Oh my gosh, Kyo. That is absolutely ridiculous. Stabbing yourself in the neck like that, how would you have the strength to throw it? Like, no.
So she took off the floorboard to get rid of the sickle?
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
Maybe I wasn't too far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right?
I can see why he's saying that for sure. Hey, Angie, when did you brainwash Himiko?
Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity. Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore, so she decided to end her own life.
That doesn't make sense either. It seemed to me like they were almost making up right before she went to the cage, that they would be friends again after this. She was so caring about it all, too.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? Why?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
Take us down?
More nightmare fuel.
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial, so she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her. Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
What are you saying? Tenko wasn't like that.
That is contradictory.
She told me.
Keep your chin up and live, facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else. And she had no intention to die very clearly.
What if all of that was just a lie?
A lie?
She's not you, Kokichi.
Wait, we should believe Tenko's last words.
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer. Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Naive?
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets. What matters is whether there's any malice behind them.
Oh, Kaito, you're so human.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking. That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself.
Believe in the you that believes in me.
If you get betrayed, it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them. That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
Hey, come on. Don't you think you're being a little too strict?
Well, we come from different backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
That is pretty funny, actually.
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Tenko anymore. But I want to believe in her. She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down.
Like, I know they were implying it earlier, and they even implied it earlier as well, and I actually even joked about it. But I doubt they'd use that again. Like, they've used this card way too many times, if you ask me. Just saying.
That's what I want to believe!
I will as well. It's not even something that came to my mind.
Too. Gonta no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
During her whole theorization, I never thought of that once. I didn't think of anything that would lead me to believe that.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
A proper reason,
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Maki? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
Yes, I am not the ace defective. Don't you worry. I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said. Okay, everyone, I'll see you guys after the seance. These definitely aren't the words of someone who expected to die during the seance. She said, see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we don't know how she was killed doesn't mean that was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that, and if we keep thinking, we'll find the truth. And that means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Oh, we will now, will we? Alright, I like the sound of that. What do we got for truth bullets? Okay, Monokuma File 3, The Caged Child, and Tenko's Last Moments, as well as a hole in the corner.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person! But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
You know what's funny about that? Maki did tell us that was certainly a possibility to hide the sickle in your clothing.
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
Everyone thinks that Tenko committed suicide, but only because they were latching on to the easiest answer. To get out of this, I need to make them think their suicide theory wouldn't work.
So far, suicide.
Oh, I'm
seems
getting
to
what
be
you're
the
putting
best
down.
explanation.
Here, let's read Tenko's last moments really quick, because I think I know what they want me to do here. There's always at least one moment where we have to lie. Tenko died in a crouch position. The injury on the back of her neck was deep, but probably not deep enough to kill her immediately.
Her plan was to take us down.
Okay, I see. Yeah, we'll use that
So
then.
she
We'll see if
hid
it
her
works.
True intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person!
Because that would definitely explain the lack of strength, because I'm saying, like I was saying earlier, I don't think she would have the strength to do that. But it's saying it wouldn't kill her immediately, so if we lie about it and say it would instantly kill her, maybe that's what they want us to do.
Cliff secretly brought the sickle and stabbed it.
Finally, with the last...
Riot! Oh no, I didn't hold square. She would have been able to throw it away in time, no? That is, I suppose, unless her death was instant. I was right! I totally was. That just told me right there.
So far, suicide.
Okay,
seems to be
screwing
the
up
best
is confirmed.
explanation.
Did I have to be right?
Her plan was
I just gotta
to
make
take
sure
us
I
down
heard
with her.
triangle this time.
So she hid her true intentions.
Always hate the lying mechanic. You barely use it, and the times when you do, you have to hold down the square and try to aim it. It's so just awkward for me.
Explain how they brought the sickle and stabbed her.
Finally, with the last...
Okay, Tenko's last moments. You not have to hold this, or was it triangle? Oh, it was triangle, right. Okay, there we go.
I'll reveal the truth.
I got confused there. I forgot the button almost. It's been so
Tenko
long
couldn't
since
have
we did a
thrown the
trial.
sickle under the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, I talked over that.
Tenko couldn't have thrown the sickle under the floor. Because she died instantly.
Instantly?
Like, have you ever seen someone actually get stabbed in the throat in movies and other literature? You lose their strength. Any stabbing, you just slowly lose your strength and you can barely do anything. At least how it's been described in books and other media that I've read, at least, as well. It was not too far-fetched, if you ask me. Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
I'm certain of it. My investigation determined that she died instantly.
Oh, Maki's just like... Won't say anything, won't say anything, won't say anything.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say Moiter.
Maki.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail. Tenko died instantly.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly. I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki.
How could you forget that, Maki Roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Excuse me?
No, I don't need the apology.
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary.
Yeah, I'd rather keep my life.
Anyway, Tenko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No! There must have been a way! We're gonna figure it out!
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance?
Well, I wouldn't say witness, I'd say heard for sure.
If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Not a bad idea. We should have remembered what happened at the seance. Let me try to remember. I'm sure there's something. I need some kind of clue that will help me solve this mystery. Alright, well, let's see what we need to refute this time. What clues we get. We have a caged child, sound during the seance, magic circle key, Korekiyo drew, and a crosspiece under the floor. Like I was just saying, we didn't see, but we did hear something. Question is where it needs to go.
The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed. How utterly strange.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song,
I love how they make the words move so much this time around.
I'm more concerned about how dark it got in there.
They get pretty
It
dark.
was totally pitch black. My job was to relight the candles. Moving along the walls was seriously tough.
It was pitch black during the seance. The limits of what could have happened, or that limits what could have happened. Just stay calm, think. There must be some kind of clue. What I'm thinking here is it's probably something along what basically it's what was it, Himiko I said, think? Well, let me review it.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary?
But I'm pretty sure it's the noise. This makes the most sense at this point. And I believe it was Himiko that said it? Was it Himiko or Korekiyo? I think it was Himiko.
now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song,
Oh, no. We're close, I think. There it is. I agree. We all heard that. At least I'm fairly certain, unless we're deaf. It was a very loud noise.
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
This is too creepy for me.
I believe that was the sound I made.
it sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard. What could have fallen down?
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
Loud sound? Like something hit the floorboards. How do we do it? Meisters, I'm not sure if you remember from my Fury video, I did talk about something that might fit the description. The loud sound we insinuated might have been due to the loose floorboard here. I have a feeling that's probably what it is, but we'll see. Is it going to ask me? Maybe that sound had something to do with the other thing that happened in the dark. It's going to ask me, yep. Okay, so I think it's the loose floorboard. We talked about this a bit during my theory time, and we'll see if that's right.
This is it!
Got it.
I think the floorboard coming off had something to do with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
could the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
Not just the floorboard.
It was the sound of an intense impact.
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
That is true. There would have had to be some sort of strong impact to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be? Well.
All right then, let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
You're right, Kaito. We gotta do this. We can do this. Time for a non-stop debate. Found during the seance, a magic circle Korekiyo drew.
So what made the floorboard come
What was
loose?
that? Frost piece under the floorboard and red blood from under the floor. Ah!
Someone
Gosh,
participated
then we have
in
the machine gun.
seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Yep.
Culprit hide under floor.
We just
Then
credited
stood
that.
up with such might.
They're not you going to.
Said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it
Dude, that
is
was just
dangerous.
freaking out. That was crazy.
God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know, me and Balls are the best of friends.
Yeah, your big old salute. Gosh, that's not a thing to brag about, Mew. What would have made made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose? That's a good question. I think Kokichi's onto something here. Because my theory, like I mentioned, Meisters, it sounds like from what Kokichi said, when he stepped on the floorboard, he went right down and the other side went up and smacked him in the face. And I did mention that in my actual initial theory video. Or in the initial beginning part of this video for the theory. I think about everyone's testimony and combine it with the facts.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
I think we need the crosspiece under the floor, because that's what we were talking about with the actual theory itself, and we were talking about that with Kokichi as well. Let's try to agree with him.
Fell over.
No.
Statue was
Hide under. Then stood up with.
I love going to things.
Someone must have stomped.
I agree. That feels good. I love the V counter system. V consent, V agree, whatever you call it now.
Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
The floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
That was prior to the crosspiece being cut off, Gonto.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the crosspieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the crosspiece?
What did they stand to gain? That's the question. To solve this case, I need to think carefully about the crosspiece and the floorboard. Tenko's body was at one end of the loose floorboard. And the crosspiece that had been cut was on the other end of the floorboard. The unsupported part was outside the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Only one of the crosspieces was cut. The other two were intact. One of them was right under Tenko. And the other was in the center, right about where the cage, or the edge of the cage was. It was actually a little before, I think, as the picture shows. What was the culprit attempting to achieve by stomping on the floorboard? Think, come on, think! Alright, we're doing this! Gambit, start! See if we can figure this out. Question is what they want me to put here. Okay, S is fitting. It can't mean... Okay, SE. Let's try A then, see if... Nope. Nope. Apparently that's not it. Oh, wait a second. Apparently I don't remember how to spell. C, okay, C. I was spelling C-S-E-A like C for some reason. Let's see. So it seems like we have seesaw? If I'm right. I'm trying to think of what the second word would be. That actually got me kind of stumped. Saw, okay, yeah, it is seesaw. That makes sense, because it's like a seesaw going up and down on the one side. Effect? Okay, yeah. Probably effect then if it starts with an E. Come on, I need another F. There's another F. I saw an E. Okay, we're doing this. We're speeding up. I have an idea of what we need to do. C. I didn't quite see where that T was. Come on, T. T! There we go. Seesaw effect. That actually... It's a weird way of wording it, to be honest with you. You think they would have just put seesaw, not seesaw effect?
That's right. The floorboard might have been used as a seesaw.
Just saying.
A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other two crosspieces holding up that board were close to the cage, meaning if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece,
especially when there's so much weight just before the middle crosspiece.
The next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever.
This actually looks pretty ridiculous. You'd think if they jumped on it with both feet like that, they might slide, hit their face off the cage, and slide into the floor themselves. Or get stuck between it. This actually looks pretty ridiculous.
A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
Her whole body lifted up?
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that, unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
Exactly.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
Floorboard, seesaw, the cage, and the blood on the white fabric. What conclusions can I draw from this? There is only one place the sickle could have been that is consistent with the evidence. Where was the sickle when Tenko was killed? Well, we actually talked about this as well. What made the most sense of it would be underneath the cage, as there's no hole in the top of that white sheet that was sitting in it, or actually any blood on the other side either. And you could...
The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down.
I also just wanted to add the fact that Maki said the sickle is easily concealed in clothes, and that wouldn't be any stranger for it to be concealed in a blanket of sorts, would it?
The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place. It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble, but the statue's weight kept it from falling over. Once everything was in place, if you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage. She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouch position, but with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim. That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It worked pretty effectively, though.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
That impact make floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide. Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
So true! Leave it to me to point that out. Seesaw homicide. Oh.
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know? They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box.
Remember Kayade's weird Rube Goldberg machine? Jeez. They have a thing for these, don't they?
Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
Yeah?
What?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Huh? Why her?
Huh.
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
The only one? Why's that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room. The middle room is the best for stuff like this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we talked about bloody Kokichi's account already. This is nuts. I guess no one else heard it except Shuichi. Shuichi's the only one he really told.
Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance.
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kiyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time. Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room.
Gosh, can I just say that whole little portrait of Himiko reminds me of Soul Eater for some reason. That foggy darkness. Oh, and the smile. So creepy.
She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko, all according to plan.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Oma, why aren't you speaking up?
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
Kill Tenko?
So I skipped you, my big beautiful man. I'm sorry. It happens sometimes. These things are long, you know.
He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
I killed Tenko?
Himiko?
It sounds like news to her.
What's wrong, Himiko?
It is true that using the middle room was Himiko's idea. Does that mean that Himiko really killed Tenko? Well, why would something like that really happen? Something so cruel. That doesn't make any sense to me. Mostly because we theorized before. Of course, class trial intermission! Of course they'll stop it here. Well, I guess it has been going on for like over an hour now. Would you like to say? We would indeed, but I don't have any better word than fuck. That took a weird turn. And what's killing me here is Korekiyo doesn't know about that piece of information we talked about. So this is literally confirming my suspicions. This is cementing what I thought. Cementing my theory almost. This is nuts. I love it so much.
It looks like we've reached the intermission segment, which means it's time for our... Guess the victim quiz!
Yeah!
A victim quiz? Not a culprit quiz? Only victims!
The only victims are the people who are still watching this drawn out boring crap. Yes, no one needs intermissions and or commercials.
Why are you being such a downer all of a sudden?
It's okay.
It is okay. I am sure everyone is happy. How do you know? They could be skipping the entire conversation for all you know. Bye-bye, fourth wall. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. I'm the real victim here. Me.
Why are you getting upset? If anything, I'm the real victim. I gotta put up with all this nonsense all the time.
Man.
Absolutely.
What's the right answer, one of them? Why? He hasn't said anything.
Hey,
Exactly, because there are no victims. Yep, even if you were killed in this killing game, you're a winner. Because then everyone mourns you, and you get tons of posthumous popularity.
God damn it, Monokuma.
Daddy!
Oh, Daddy, you don't need to reveal these kind of behind-the-scenes details.
all right.
Dying makes you more popular, and we gotta die soon too. Wasn't Mono Kid the most popular then? He was the one that died first. Totally contradictory. At least someone told me that Mono Kid is the least popular in Japan, I think.
This is my impression of a spooky, scary ghost.
Ah! Too spooky, 5 me!
Ah! I'm fine with real ghosts, but impressions of them are too scary!
All that remains of a once
What?
Logic does not compute.
You're on the threshold of
Did you hear something?
Even Mono Kid's like, okay, I don't even know what to say to you anymore, Mono Fanny.
No, I didn't hear anything.
You're both dead.
Else is scary? Sweet buns. Yep, tasty, tasty sweet buns.
We gotta talk over that.
You know what else is scary? Sweet buns. Yep, tasty, tasty sweet buns.
Gosh, I don't even know how to take this game anymore. It's great. Or hot cross buns as well. That could be it too, Monotaro. Those are scary.
So round, so sweet, so delicious.
That doesn't sound scary at all.
It sounds scrumptious.
I'm scared too. Scared of losing my friends.
Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, wow. You guys better back out of this conversation like I said last time, otherwise you're going to get murdered.
You're on the threshold of
Beep, you're both dead. That's it. I've blown my stack. Boo. Do not ignore the murderous bear. Do not ignore the murderous bear. We learned that lesson in the first and second games. It's time the Mono Cubs learned it too.
Answer us, Himiko. You chose the middle room to lure us into your trap, did you not? Then you used that trap to kill Tenko, yes?
Well, Donkey Lips, did you kill that twat?
Wait, must be some mistake. No way Himiko is culprit.
Then she needs to defend herself. Otherwise, this debate is deadlocked.
I don't care if you gotta use magic to do it, but say something already.
Are you even listening?
Himiko.
No, I'm not listening.
What?
I don't care anymore. I'm too tired. Angie died. Tenko died. Why did I have to survive? And now, you're all saying I killed them?
Oh, I mentioned this earlier, but this is so heartbreaking. Why do you have to do this to me, game? Can it just rip my heart from my chest so I don't feel for these characters anymore?
I just don't care anymore.
Himiko.
Oh.
Do whatever. If you want to vote for me, then just go ahead.
I can't let them.
The game gets really blah if the suspect isn't into it.
That's not the problem.
Damn it. Don't tell me you've given up.
Himiko, don't give up.
Don't you understand? My life is riding on the outcome of this trial!
Just shut up. I told you, I'm too tired.
Living's a pain, yeah.
It's all just a big pain. I can't put up with it anymore.
There's her signature catchphrase. What a pain.
What are you talking about? If you give up here...
You needn't worry. Himiko was the one who chose that room. Therefore, she is unmistakably the culprit.
Impossible! Himiko would never kill Tenko! Himiko not that kind of person. Gonta can tell by Himiko's face.
Himiko's a little slow, so I don't think she's capable of handling a complicated crime.
I also think Himiko's not the culprit. Somehow.
Either way, we gotta look for more possibilities.
That does seem like rather a pointless quest.
No, is not. We gotta be strong. Gotta keep thinking. Then we might find new truth.
Words spoken like a true gentleman, Gonta. I agree with those.
So no give up, Himiko!
Himiko, I know how you feel. Felt the same way after Kaede died. It was Kaede's lie, wasn't it? I still remember that meme too, and it makes me cry every time I read it. You couldn't have just hung around for a little longer. I'm sorry. I'll go see myself out. But we can't give up. We survived. We can't give up. For the sake of everyone who's died. Gotta have hope, love, and luck. Non-stop debate. Start. Cage shouts sound during the seance in the corner, and finally bloody Kokichi's account. This better be it this time around.
What if someone steered her into picking that room?
Of the 3 empty rooms...
Yeah, that wouldn't matter.
Why did you select the middle one? Because you laid your trap there.
Was trap only in that room? Other rooms may be trapped too.
Yeah, even if Himiko picked the room, someone else could have set that trap.
Your opinions are empty words.
Nothing to say. I can't blame Himiko the way she's feeling. If the culprit's plan were to make Himiko a suspect, it might have persuaded her to choose that room somehow. The interesting thing here is Gonta brought up a very good point about how the other rooms might have been trapped. And we can actually echo this thought. I'll point it out here. There's no contest. Bloody Kokichi's account, wherever it is. We also talked about this in my theory as well, which I'm so happy that I'm right. At least close to it. Things have taken weird turns, I'll tell you that. Like I said, I don't like this rabbit hole. Anyways, they might have persuaded her into choosing that room somehow, so I think I know what we're gonna do, and we're gonna try it. But how and what? What would tell us that?
Performing the seance.
Let's look for it. That doesn't matter.
What if someone's still picking that room?
Of the three,
Empty rooms.
the middle is
Because you laid your trap there.
Guess you had the true up card.
Other rooms may be trapped.
There it is. I agree.
I agree.
Kokichi's account actually tells us this, and we're the only ones that know about it.
It's just like Gonta said. Each room was the same. They were all trapped.
Therefore, the choice of the room didn't matter.
What? Is that true?
Kokichi will tell you.
Oh, of course he sleeps now.
I was way too careless. Wait, what are you talking about?
Too boring, going to sleep. Shutting down. I guess there is no cross-piece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck.
While you were in the room next to the crime scene, you found a loose floorboard, right?
Well, I didn't find it so much as I stepped through it and tripped.
What? Hold on! There was also a loose floorboard in the next room?
So the culprit prepared a trap in all 3 empty rooms, not just the middle one.
If the culprit set traps in all the rooms, then they wouldn't need to select a room themselves.
So the real trap was for someone else to pick a room and take the blame.
I see. We were caught in the culprit's trap all along.
Especially you!
But now there's no reason to suspect Himiko, right?
Himiko, do you remember what Tenko told you?
Keep your chin up and live facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else. Please. Oh.
Live life facing forward. She said that to you, right?
You can't let her last wish be in vain, or her last request of you.
If you give up on living, you'd be betraying her memory. We're all trying to keep our promises to the dead.
Ryoma!
This trial, it's not just for our lives. It's for everyone who's died as well. That's why we can't give up. This is our responsibility. We live on.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. If I gave up here, I wouldn't be able to face Angie or Tenko.
That's right. So let's do our best.
Alright, I'm not gonna say it's a pain anymore.
Good. And I love that sprite when she's just cheering and her hat flies off. That's amazing.
I won't give up! I'll fight alongside everyone and survive!
Do not say everyone. After all, the blackened is still among us.
True enough.
Jeez, there you go. Killing the mood like usual. But damn! Well said, Shuichi. That's what I'd expect from my soul, bro.
Alright, brother from another mother.
Your soul, bro?
Connected by a string of fate. Souls. Inseparable bros.
Well, anyway, do you think the blackened this time has some sort of superpower?
Now that would be ridiculous. You know, we have a seesaw killing someone, but superpowers? No. Ultimate talents? Well, whatever. Close enough, right?
What are you talking about?
Well, as a self-proclaimed expert of stepping through floorboards, isn't it weird that no one stepped through that floorboard before the culprit used it?
Ah, that is a good point.
It must have been barrier magic. Well, that's one possibility, but I think it might have been something else.
Don't incriminate yourself, Himiko, by saying it's magic. Why did no one step on the floorboard until it was used for murder? There's actually a really good reason for that, thinking back on it. That must be it. That must be the reason. Here, well, oh, can I not go back? Okay, well, let's go back here. There's a picture that showed that as well, and I believe it was the magic circle that Korekiyo drew. I think that's the one, at least. Let's give that a try.
This is it!
I was right.
It's because of the magic circle at the scene of the crime.
Because if I remember correctly, when we looked in the book, or at least from what I remember of the picture, the stone was positioned at the front in front of the path. However, the board itself would have been hidden or underneath the circle, which Korekiyo told us not to step on. Okay, so I am remembering this right. Also, it's dark in here, so be sure to watch your step. The magic circle is broken, but only will the seance fail. But it may also unleash a curse.
Before we began the seance, we were warned not to step on the circle. The floorboard in question was within the circle. That's why no one stepped on it.
So the magic circle's purpose was to keep us away from the whole trick.
That was part of the culprit's plans too?
That's right. If that's the case, then the culprit...
Gosh, Miu's right again!
I guess we gotta listen to her more often. It's a good thing I thought about it myself, because if she wasn't, and I just went, yeah, no, definitely, let's follow Miu's thing, and it wasn't this obvious, then we might be in trouble. There's no doubt in my mind, there's the one who killed Tenko. Or they're the one who killed Tenko. Only one person had the opportunity and the motive. Only one person. Only one person. It was you, Korekiyo, I'm sorry to say.
It has to be you! Kyo, was it you?
Whatever are you talking about?
Did your voice change?
I'm talking about Tenko's murder.
The hell?
Kyo? Why do you suspect me?
Because you were the one who drew the magic circle.
That was a mighty different tone than I'm used to.
Whatever are you talking about? Why do you suspect me?
What?
Whatever are you talking about?
Okay, I am not just hearing things then. We're gonna have another meat on the bone moment here. Someone starts screaming nonsensical nonsense like Paris Hilton!
The circle kept us from discovering the seesaw trick. But that's not all it was for. In order to make the murder succeed, variables like Tenko's position and the placement of the cage needed to be defined. And those variables were defined by using the magic circle. In short, the circle itself was the most important tool in this murder. Knowing that, the person who drew the magic circle has to be the culprit.
Well, Kyo?
Answer already! Did you do it?
If so, I'm gonna use explosion.
What is so funny?
I laugh though.
I was just thinking. So this is how each blackened must have felt. What an intriguing experience this is.
What? An intriguing experience?
But if I am the culprit as you claim, then I stomped on the floorboard, yes? So, do tell. How could I have stomped on the floorboard during that darkened seance?
I see. That is problem.
Unless that is made clear, you cannot be certain I am the culprit.
I think I can understand how he did it.
How can you be so calm when you're backed into a corner like this?
I will explain that in due time. Please answer my question first.
Culprit stepped on the exact floorboard, even in the darkness. And how? How do they move around in total darkness? This is one thing that's actually kind of intriguing thinking back on it. There must be a reason specifically why they use salt. Other than just, you know, occult bull crap, because normally you could use chalk for a magic circle and have no issue, and it would be much simpler and harder to smudge, I would assume. And isn't that not more traditional too? At least I think it is. But how? How did they move around in total darkness? A room that dark, it's hard to imagine the culprit found the right board. Although even after I put out the candle, I can move along the wall with my hand.
Wait a minute. Maybe...
But I'm thinking, specifically different texture from wood and other materials you could have used like chalk.
Did you figure it out?
That's it, the culprit didn't even have to see it all. They used... touch. The feeling of the texture.
That's it!
He's going.
The culprit used touch. They didn't see. They felt.
That way they could get around in the dark, like how I got to the candle.
Wasn't Seesaw in middle of room? Gonta doesn't think it was near wall.
So they probably used something besides the wall to move then, right?
Were there any other markers within reach?
Of course, the answer to that is there was nothing of the sort.
No. I'm sure there was something. A landmark they could have used to determine which or where the floorboard was. It must have been at the scene. I know it. Oh, double Hangman's Gambit. Things are heating up. Okay, well, we already talked about this. It's the touch of the salt from the magic circle. I think what it wants me to say, magic circle, unless they have some other weird word for it. Get back here, G. Not going anywhere. Which one was that I again? I think you're a C. Perfect. I'll try another C. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure on this one now. It has to be circle with the amount of letters left. Where are you? R. Was that an R? It was. Okay. L, L, L. And where's the E? Is this an E? Nope, this is...
I see now.
You know what I think about, actually, when we talk about Hangman's Gambit, is the...
That's it! The magic circle! They used the magic circle!
What I was just trying to say is the casino minigame has Salmon Fishing, which is directly emulating what it seems to be for the Hangman's Gambit now, which is kind of interesting. It adds a little extra thing to make it a little bit easier, but that's a very good way to practice now that I look at it. Maybe that's why they make all this stuff so expensive there. So you'll practice the minigames and get good at them. Anyways, that's just something I noticed.
Remember? The magic circle was drawn with salt. The culprit used the salt's texture to feel their way through the dark.
I see. So Kiyo traced the magic circle with his hands to get to the loose floorboard.
Oh, I see. You drew the magic circle with salt to use it as a guide.
An interesting thought. It is unfortunate that it is so wrong.
No. I thought I was right. You tell me there's something else, Kiyo. What?
Recall the document. What did the magic circle look like?
Magic circle look like? I was on the right track, especially from what I remember it looking like.
Based on the document, the magic circle wouldn't reach the corners of the room.
When the room was darkened, each of us was in a corner of the room, yes? The magic circle didn't reach us, so I could not have followed it, yes?
But you're talking about the magic circle in the document. That doesn't mean the circle you drew was the same.
No, I most definitely drew it exactly the same. I have it perfectly memorized.
So which is it? Is there any way to check?
Not anymore. The magic circle is a complete mess from being trampled on.
I see. Another piece of the puzzle. Drawing the circle with salt, all but guaranteed it would be temporary. Also probably another reason they didn't use chalk. Investigation itself would have gotten rid of the evidence. Clever.
Everyone, may I have your attention, please?
What a pain. We don't have any way to check it now.
Excuse me, everyone. May I have your attention, please?
Well, I guess there's no point in discussing the magic circle anymore.
Come on, guys, just listen to Kibo.
Hey, may I have your attention?
Oh, I said cut that out! It's too bright!
At least it caught our attention.
I apologize. I just wanted everyone to listen to me.
About what?
I had Miu add another function to my body, in addition to the flashlight.
What the? No way! Did you really?
Wait, you don't even remember adding the function?
Stop! You can't! I didn't install it for that purpose!
Oh no!
Please, let me use it. With it, I might be able to save everyone.
Alright, so what is this function?
It's an image recording function.
Of course it is. Miu wants her kinky pictures.
Image recording?
Specifically, this function allows me to dispense a printout of my own memory. I'll give it a try. Ready?
Oh no! His mouth's a printer. At least it's not coming out of his ass.
From your mouth?
I also used magic like that before.
Himiko, I don't think you'd spit out pictures from your mouth.
This printout is my memory of being kicked out of the seance. Please confirm that the floor of the empty room is clearly visible. Go on, take the picture and see for yourself.
Alrighty.
Okay, got it.
They're not going to be covered in slobber and ink, is it? I reluctantly took the paper from Kibo's mouth. So this is the magic circle used for the seance.
Well, Shuichi, do you notice anything?
Oh. I do. There's lines coming right out of the middle of it all the way to the back. Notice anything? Huh. Can I go over here? Oh. Okay, yeah, this is from where Kibo's standing. Okay, let's just try clicking on... Does it let me select any of them? It does, okay. Let's try clicking on one of them. This line has to be it.
There!
Okay.
This helped a lot, Kibo. Without you, I never would have seen through Kiyo's lie.
And we would have no way of doing so because the only picture we have is in the book itself that tells us how to set it up, and I don't remember seeing those lines. That's what I got kind of thrown off about. I was like, what the hell?
My lie.
You just said that you drew the magic circle exactly as it appears in the document. But that's a lie, isn't it?
All I have to do is compare the document.
The magic circle at the scene had lines that stretched to the room's corners, which means that you would be able to find the floorboard from anywhere in the room.
So it was different from the document after all.
I actually wonder... I think that may have been the case in the original picture we saw when we entered the room as well. I never really thought of anything about it at the time. I just figured, no, well, whatever, it's the magic circle, right? Looking back on it, that was certainly strange. I'll try to find a picture and see if I can post it just to make sure, but I think I'm right here. Huh.
All because Himiko noticed. And because of Kibo, too.
Hey, where's my things? I'm the one who installed that function into Kibo.
True.
Hey, yeah, what was it you were saying about its purpose?
It definitely wasn't for lewds.
Oh, to be honest, the purpose of that image recording function is to monitor my health.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, I make Kibo use that function every day to analyze my turds.
Well.
Your what? Why? Shit is a great indicator of intestinal health and gut bacteria quality. Plus, taking a satisfying shit does wonders for a woman's natural beauty, so...
Didn't Nakumaru teach her that? Seriously. That's something I expect to hear out of his mouth. Oh, no.
See? You're all grossed out! This is why I didn't want to tell you about my plan!
Quit talking about your poop. No one cares.
Like, honestly.
Kyo, you killed Tenko, didn't you? Just give up and admit it already.
So, Kyo, if you have any objections, you can...
Your deductions are fiction.
Fiction, you say? I don't think so.
Well, since you've given me the option, I will most certainly object.
Seesaws are beautiful.
To be honest, it's unimportant, but it may be an amusing diversion.
Unimportant?
Now I shall bear witness to your abilities, Shuichi. Do entertain me.
Oh, as long as you're not going to tie me up again, we're fine with this. We'll do it. Seriously though, that was ridiculous. Argostone, iron cage, white sheep, dog statue. Ah! What?
Then what of the murder weapon?
What is with this shape of this word?
Set up in the cage.
Stop it!
The only people capable.
Yo, you cheating bastard.
Are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So suspicion should fall on them.
Stop it! You're not allowed to do that. No weird words. His attitude is disconcerting. But first I need to counter his argument. I
You
do.
are going to claim I am the culprit.
That was the last thing I
Then
expected,
what of
just
the
that
murder
weird
weapon?
shape.
It was set up in the cage.
Oh, yes.
The only people capable of that are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So suspicion
Excuse
should
me?
fall on them.
Is he completely forgetting about the fact that he added the white sheep
True, we could have
afterwards?
placed the sickle there, but we could not have removed it later.
It would have been in plain
Because we
view,
weren't
too.
the ones who lifted the cage. That was Himiko.
Mm-hmm.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
That
So
is
simply
complete
put,
bull crap.
I am not the killer.
Meisters, if you remember correctly, there is a very specific scene where Maki essentially said that you could hide the sickle in a pair of clothing, which I've echoed before earlier in the trial, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to assume that you could simply hide it in the sheet as well. What would be stopping him? Nothing. There's literally nothing stopping him, and us seeing him, you know, put the sheet on and smooth it out, we would just assume he's smoothing it out, while in actuality he would have been readying the sickle. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, at least. I'm sure that Kyo is the culprit. He had a way of getting that murder weapon. I can prove that.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko.
He could have wrapped it up in the
The
sheet.
only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor I had no opportunity.
Don't lie to me, boy.
I'll cut through your
I'll
words.
V-counter you if you do.
The only person who could have set up the sickle and retrieved it afterward is Kyo. That was done by covering the cage with a white cloth. You could have secretly placed the sickle when you draped the cloth. and retrieved it afterward when you removed the cloth. Then, while everyone was distracted, you discreetly dropped the sickle under the floor.
Wonderful! That's exactly correct.
Wow, you just admit it? Huh. What?
It's correct? Then why don't you give up already?
He's about to call it beautiful.
The trick I put so much work into is just wasted effort now. Alas.
So, it was you? You killed Tenko?
Explosion!
Let me guess. You'll never forgive me. Himiko, you must hate me so very much.
Can I just say those hips, though? Sorry, distractions.
Maybe you'd feel better if I was executed by Monokuma. But unfortunately for you, that won't happen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think my brain just exploded a little. I had assumed, or at least thought, that the same killer was responsible for both, and I give very reasonable arguments, I felt, as to why. But what?
Because if you vote for me, every spotless, including myself, will die.
What the fuck?
What you talking about, Kyo?
That was strange. Was I the only one that noticed that?
What you talking about, Kyo?
What you talking about, Kyo? She got twitched all of a sudden. What? Maybe it was just like a reference to one of those old TV shows that'd be like, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about?
You still don't understand? I killed Tenko, that is the truth. But it is meaningless in this class trial.
Oh, is he just using it as a cover, maybe?
Meaningless?
You mean Monokuma's extra rule, right?
I remember.
Oh, sorry. I was sleeping there. The trial's gone on so long. Ah, that's right. What happens to your votes? If there are two blackened candidates, well, I have an answer for that. It's first come, first served.
Right, yep.
You see, I killed Tenko, but not Angie. For us, Tenko's death is nothing but a trivial issue.
That's not a nice way to put it.
Because the blackened in this trial is the culprit who killed Angie.
Trivial issue? No, that's gotta be a lie. You probably killed Angie too.
That is simply not possible. Recall that I was unable to enter Angie's lab.
Oh, only student council members and Kokichi could enter research lab.
How could I have possibly killed Angie when I couldn't even enter her lab?
Well, you didn't have to. That was my theory, at least.
We can figure that out. No one else could have done it besides you. If you're the one who killed Tenko, you gotta be the one who killed Angie.
I understand how you feel, Himiko, but maybe we can discuss this rationally and calmly. There is a non-zero possibility that Kyo is telling the truth.
So you understand how she feels. I see. Wait, robots can understand human feelings?
Of course I understand. I work really hard to understand.
Hey, why are you getting all worked up, Kibo? Chill, dude.
Well, it was offensive. It was robophobic. That's why.
That's enough! It's voting time! I'm gonna vote for him!
Voting for me will only help the one who murdered Angie.
Confused-faced. The question here is plot twist or lie? Plot twist or lie, Kyo? I guess we'll find out.
Isn't Kyo culprit?
Of course I'm not. This case was an error on my part. Monokuma added that rule after both bodies were found, yes? How was I to know that the trial would only be for Angie's killer? Had I known, I certainly wouldn't have killed Tenko.
You're lying! You killed Tenko and Angie!
Now hold on. Jumping to conclusions here is dangerous.
We should talk it out more. This case might have juicy plot twists waiting to happen.
And the roads of robot chicken. What a twist! Something else I'll mention. Somebody asked me why I say it as Angie. Well, that's because Persona 5 on Lady On. Yes, on is how they pronounced it, not an like it should have been on. So I just kind of got in the habit of that because of Persona 5. Just the more you know, I guess.
Nuts to that! Any way you look at this case, Kiyo is obviously the culprit.
Yeah, there's sort of no other way to look at it.
No, it's too dangerous to vote before we arrive at a logical decision.
The culprit's one of you!
One of you.
This argument is getting intense!
I love that. Wowee!
Wowee! This argument is getting intense! At times like this...
You need to have Kibo snap a picture. Hmm?
Wow! At times like...
The Ultimate Academy is proud to present its very own more phenomenal trial ground!
It's time for a debate, Scrum.
Yippee! I've been waiting for this!
Oh, silly me. We haven't even played all the mini games yet. Of course it can't be over.
Why were you waiting for it?
He'll confess to killing Tenko, but insists he didn't kill Angie. Or Angie. We won't forgive Kiyo for what he did, but we can't vote until we know the facts. We gotta prove it all. We gotta take the evidence that we have yet to present and proceed to rub it in Kiyo's face and grind his eyes out with it. I have to pin down the evidence and convince everyone.
Time to activate the spiral power.
Gosh, the composer for the Danganronpa series is still fantastic. Can't remember his name. It's like Mufasa or something. I can never remember it though. Oh yes.
Kiyo killed Tenko and Angie!
Kiyo?
Kibo! We don't know for certain that Kiyo killed Angie.
That got me almost out of left field.
Forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
Angie's?
I got this!
Did I get it in time?
Into Angie's research lab.
The katana was found in Kiyo's lab.
Lab?
Kiyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
So Kiyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
Kiyo!
Ah.
Not possible. That rule was added after both murders.
He was planning to use the new
I did
rule to
something
protect
wrong here.
himself all along.
It was the rule was next,
Kiyo.
I guess.
Not possible. That rule was added after both
I
murders.
did a derp. That was the wrong
Solve
keyword.
the mystery of Tenko's death.
I got this! Not yet. There's still
It was
another
blackened. I
mystery
heard
to
them say
solve.
blackened, and I still clicked the wrong one. I panicked because I tried to do it all
Kiyo
at
did
once.
kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
I really should wait for these, listen them through, so I can get the order in my mind. That's what I usually do, but I didn't. Damn it, Windows, not now. We are not updating. Screw off. Anyways, what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by Windows is I usually wait these out and then kind of order it in my head, but I didn't, so I've gotten thrown off now. I'm a faster reactor when it comes to this sort of thing. If we vote now... Okay, let's go back and read that, actually. If we vote now, we'll never know the truth. We have to defend that point.
Kiyo killed Tenko and Angie!
Kibo! We don't know for certain that Kiyo killed Angie.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
I got this! But he couldn't get into Angie's research lab.
The katana was found in Kiyo's lab.
Kiyo!
I like how it highlights them for us after we've gotten it right.
My lab.
So Kiyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
Kokichi. Perhaps there's a second blackened we need to find.
Perhaps.
He was planning
Keyword.
to use the new rule to protect...
Kiyo!
We need rule.
Not possible.
And then mystery.
That rule was added after both murders.
We solved the mystery of Tenko's death. Can't we just vote now?
I got this! Not yet. There's still another mystery to solve.
Get ready. Crouch bind.
This is our answer!
Like, I developed trigger finger.
It would be a mistake to vote before we've completely solved Angie's murder. And there's still the mystery of Tenko's murder.
Mystery? What kind of mystery?
Well, Kiyo's confession derailed our conversation a bit.
Yeah, it definitely did.
But we still have to go over one of the clues found at Tenko's crime scene. I believe it might even have something to do with Angie's murder.
I have a really stupid smile on my face. I think I know what he's talking about. Yes, the outlying piece of evidence at Tenko's murder scene. There's only one thing we get to talk about. We talked about the loose floorboard, which also had dried blood on it, but we did not talk about the dried blood beneath the floor. Where is it? There it is.
This is it!
Feels good to be right.
The bloodstain found under the floor. Maki and I found it during the investigation.
And I later linked it back to the bandage that also had the dried blood that told us about the wound on her forehead.
It was beneath the floorboard that the culprit stomped on.
Is that Tenko's blood?
That bloodstain was too far from Tenko's corpse to have been hers.
Also, the bloodstain was already dry when we found it. But the blood from Tenko's body hadn't even begun to dry yet.
Well, that's weird. Why was that bloodstain the only dry one?
The bloodstains under the floorboard, the bloodstain under the floorboard was dry because, well, it wasn't the only dried one. There was one on the bottom of the loose floorboard as well, but let's disregard that for now. It happened before the seance, obviously. Well in advance.
That's it! The bloodstain wasn't from Tenko's murder. It was there before we started the seance.
You know what I should probably point out? Somebody made a very interesting point that I'm pretty sure I talked about roughly, or at least maybe in a previous game, but we were talking about how we've never compared fingerprints in any way, shape, or form. It's true, we've never done it. I guess with the blood test, because I was thinking the blood test could definitely work for this sort of thing as well, but we don't really have the machines for that either, from what I know. Unless that computer is some sort of weird thing that does everything. But we don't know that. We don't know what it is yet. It says something about a new world, but yeah, we're getting derailed here. I digress.
Before the seance?
That should make it clear whose blood it was. Angie Onaga's.
That's it! That bloodstain wasn't Tenko's. It was Angie's.
Why was blood from Angie at the scene of Tenko's murder?
Yeah, wasn't Angie killed in her research lab?
Just because we found her body there doesn't mean she was killed there.
Ah, I guess that's possible.
If Angie wasn't killed in her lab, then that opens up a lot more possibilities.
We're finally on the right track.
We assumed that only council members could have killed Angie since her body was in her lab. But if she died somewhere else, then we can't suspect just the council members anymore.
So the culprit didn't enter her lab, but waited for her to come out of it?
It's my exact idea.
I'm not sure if the culprit waited for her, but they probably killed her when she came out.
My whole theory is basically that she happened upon or happened past the rooms while they're being prepared, and she heard the noise and then went to check on them.
Well, I thought that was more likely from the start. So I went to places Angie might have gone and checked all 3 empty rooms.
Places she might have gone? Why did you check the empty rooms then?
The empty rooms were the only places I could think of that Angie would go.
Did Angie have business in rooms?
It seems Kokichi's up to his usual misleading nonsense again.
I do lie a lot, and I could be lying right now too. But I'm pretty sure someone's panicking right now because of my lie.
Nothing to say, Kyo? Angie left her lab on her own and headed to the room where she was killed. Is Kokichi's statement true, or... I think I actually have an
The
idea.
art research lab is not where Angie was killed.
Effigy's hung upside down,
She was
Golden
killed in the
Katana,
empty room
Necronomicon,
instead.
and the caged child.
She left her lab on her own?
But why would she go into an empty room? There shouldn't have been anything in there.
Except for candles.
That's it! She wanted a candle!
That makes sense,
Keep
actually.
herself awake at night.
No.
She would drip hot wax on her body.
That sounds like something only you would do, Mew.
We don't kink shame. We don't kink shame here, guys. What did Kokichi see? Something Angie did. There has to be a clue there. What actually makes sense here is since we have the Necronomicon and it wasn't burned, she was probably seeking a way to light the Necronomicon on fire. I had thought initially maybe she went to get the matches. Maybe that's what she went to do, went to get matches. But instead she went to find a lit candle, I guess, in this case. Huh. That's interesting. But we'll try that.
The art research lab is not where Angie was killed. She was in the empty room instead.
She left her
Lab on her own?
But
Why would she
go into
an empty room?
There shouldn't have been
Anything in there?
Except for candles.
That's it! She wanted a
Come on!
Yes!
The agree. The consent. Like, I guess that's close enough to my theory. I just thought it'd be a little different.
That's it. Angie went to that room to get a candle.
Like, my initial reasoning is that maybe she went to go to bed. I didn't think she was going to perform the ritual until the following morning when everybody else was around. That's what I thought she would have done when the rest of the student council was awake. I didn't think she would do it at night, but hey, I guess that's what she was planning.
Yeah, for kinky wax play.
You just be quiet.
No. Angie was going to use it for the ritual. According to the Necronomicon, to resurrect the dead.
After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes.
Use caution. Be careful. Carbon monoxide poisoning is bad. We don't need another suicide case. We've seen enough of those.
Then, did she seek out a candle so she could burn the book?
That's right. There's nothing to start a fire with in Angie's lab. So she went to go get a candle from one of the empty rooms.
And that's when the culprit attacked her.
That's why there was dried blood underfloor.
Which means Angie was attacked in the same room the seance was held. Bravo, Himiko. Well done for choosing that room for the seance.
Wow, yeah, what a coincidence.
If we hadn't done the seance in that room, then Tenko's murder would have been in another room.
Then I wouldn't have had the info I needed to make my theory.
If that happened, no one would have discovered Angie's blood stain under the floorboards.
That's right. Shuichi and I only checked under the floorboards where Tenko died.
Yep, it's all thanks to Himiko for choosing the same room as Angie. This must be Atua's will. Or maybe the power of magic.
Let's go with magic. I hate Atua.
It's neither. I just picked one.
Now you choose to tell the truth. Oh, Himiko, you're a riot.
Hold on. You're all acting as though you've proven that as fact already. You claim Angie was murdered in the empty room, and then moved to the lab? Then how do you explain the large amount of blood in the lab?
Oh, that's easy.
It may be possible to carry a body, but blood cannot be moved.
I think she was still alive after the attack in the empty room. She was killed after she was carried to her lab.
That means the culprit attacked her twice. I have evidence of that. Yes, we've already talked about that. I'm confident I know what I'm doing here now. Oh, it's just gonna ask us instead of make us do a argument point, I guess. There was two pieces of evidence. There was a forehead injury and then the bloody duct tape, but the forehead injury is probably more prevalent, at least for this current argument in the context. So let's use that.
This is it!
Okay, we're good.
The fatal wound was a cut to the back of her neck from the katana.
Not the blow to her forehead.
But she also showed signs of blunt force trauma, and I think I know why. After Angie was knocked unconscious in the empty room, she was killed in her lab.
I'm sorry to derail the trial here, but I just noticed that Angie's portraits had a halo and wings on them. Damn it. Oh no.
I see. So that puddle of blood is from the killing blow. Ha! It's all clear now. Angie was attacked in the empty room, carried to her lab, and it was there that the culprit finished her off.
All clear. This is all clear.
Roger. Nanger.
What are you all talking about? All clear? What is all clear? What are you? All clear? What are you all? You what? What are? I will not fear. I will not back down.
What? Wait! Is that lipstick?
Korekiyo, calm yourself.
I joked about it back when we were in that one room with... What was her name? It was Kurumi, the maid. What? In this game, not go like 2 sequels without a goddamn trap? Or at least mentioning one? Wow.
Their words are all hollow. There is no meaning to any of them.
This makes a lot more sense. I just thought he was a really effeminate guy at first. Oh my. I feel a lot better about the bondage scene now. What?
You must teach these ignorant children a lesson.
Yes, you're right. Okay, I'll teach them.
What is this, split personality disorder?
What the hell are you mumbling about? You're giving me the goddamn willies!
Dude, I'm getting a Gyo vibe right now.
Not yet. Nothing is clear at all. It's full of doubts, of mysteries, of a dense, impenetrable fog! Nothing is clear at all!
Okay, whatever you say. I'll make you see clearly now.
Yeah, we got a few things. Monokuma file, bloody duct tape,
Angie
gold
was
leaf
attacked in
katana,
the
and
empty
loose
room
floor. Oh
first.
my, that's funky.
And then carried into the research lab?
Only 3 this time.
Impossible! Impossible!
You're impossible.
That's nothing but a delusion!
That's your delusion.
Poison our minds with your delusions?
Poison? It's just the truth. We'll cram it down your
No
throat.
delusion. Angie's 2 external wounds tell the story. After she was struck in the empty room, she was carried to the art research lab and then killed.
Exactly.
You say the culprit carried Angie's body? And not a single drop of blood fell? The hallway and empty room had no bloodstains. Even if you wiped them down later, there'd still be traces of evidence left behind. But there was no evidence
getting
anywhere,
intense.
was there, Shuichi?
The culprit carried Angie's body in such a way that it wouldn't leave any blood behind. We actually know this one. So we talked about this in my initial theory that the reason why the wound didn't bleed as much as it should was because of the bloody duct tape. And at this point, that would make sense as well why there was no blood all over the hallways from that forehead trauma that she suffered. And I think I know where we need to use this. It wasn't the second one that he said, but the last one that talked about the blood or no evidence anywhere, not the blood. That's what I think we need to use. We'll give it a try. I'm sure there's a clue at the scene that proves it. I need to confront Kyo with that evidence. I can't be thrown off by his
You say the
pleas.
culprit carried Angie's
Or
body?
her pleas, I guess.
And not a single drop of blood fell?
Whatever he
The
identifies
hallway and
as.
empty room had no bloodstains. Even if you wiped them down later, there'd still be traces of evidence left behind. But there was no evidence. Where was there, Shuichi?
Yes! I'll cut through your words!
We'll cut through your falsalities. Break.
There was evidence left at the scene. The bloody tape under Angie's body.
What?
It was wrapped around her head to stop the bleeding while she was being carried.
Someone got careless. Careless is right.
Bloody tape?
Gonta didn't notice at all.
It was under the body. It's most likely evidence the culprit should have gotten rid of. But since it was hidden, the culprit didn't notice and failed to dispose of it.
It must have fallen as the fatal blow was dealt, and ended up under her body.
It must have been Atua who did that for us.
Please do not mention that degenerate.
What? Atua? How long are you going to keep that up?
Now we know most of the mystery behind Angie's murder.
I'm convinced there's only one person who could have killed Angie.
I'm convinced as well. It's been a wild ride. Like I say, these things always like to throw me through loops. But we know it's Korekiyo. It has to be. It's the only person it can be based on all the evidence we finally compiled. I feel everyone will believe us now.
It has to be you! It's you, Kyo. You killed Angie.
What's that noise? What are you, me? I can make noises like that too.
What the fuck? So it's true!
Well, that was obvious. Such a boring, obvious answer.
You killed both of them. Why? Why did you kill them?
In terms of pure logic, only one victim was necessary to win.
Why? Why you killed them both?
I think one of the murders was an accident.
We talked about that. That's what the theory points to.
An accident?
That's right. It wasn't part of the plan.
Huh? Which one?
The murder that was an accident was the murder of Angie Onaga. We actually talked about this, how I believe he just happened upon there while he was working on his plan, while he was readying those rooms. I didn't expect her to be getting a candle in there, though. That's one thing that was different from what I thought.
Angie's murder was an accident.
What? Tenko wasn't accident?
That's right. Kyo originally planned to kill someone with the seesaw trick.
'Cause seesaws are beautiful.
But while he was making preparations in the empty room, Angie walked in. So he decided to kill her in order to keep her from talking.
She just happened to walk in on the culprit setting up and was killed.
Then, he should have just stopped there. Once he killed Angie, there was no reason for him to kill Tenko.
You only needed to kill one for this game. Killing two is pointless. If you get bonus points for killing more, then sure. Otherwise, it leaves more clues behind.
Why, Kyo? Why you killed two of our friends?
What on earth are you talking about? No, I'm not the culprit. So, why is everyone looking at me like I am?
Because you are.
Why? Why are they? Why? Calm yourself, Korekiyo.
I can't get used to that.
Why? Why are they? Calm yourself, Korekiyo.
Jesus Christ, this Kokiyo ghoul-looking person. Oh, that's what I thought first of all. I guess it's a really good cover for being a trap.
Yes. You mustn't raise your voice. You mustn't stutter. You mustn't lose composure. You mustn't become flustered. You mustn't waver. Look at their horrid faces. This sorry lot is not worth agonizing over. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
There he goes again. What the hell's wrong with him?
It almost seems like he's talking with someone.
So Meisters, I just want to say that's like the textbook definition of dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder. I guess there's like a few names for it, but it's where like there's more than one personality relying inside a body, a single body. That's why I just got flashbacks of Gyo, which is I think part 5 of JoJo, something like that.
Someone? He's just talking to himself. And why the hell is he wearing lipstick?
matter how loudly you protest, this is a trivial matter. I will never acknowledge your allegations. Not a single one of them. For you see, there is no evidence that I killed Angie. No, I will not acknowledge it.
No evidence. Did we not just present a ton of evidence? I'm confused. You need to get out of your fantasy, Korekiyo.
I will only acknowledge facts, true events. I won't acknowledge fiction, mystery. I won't acknowledge your deductions or guesses.
Well said. Good job, Korekiyo.
Yes, thanks.
Creeps me the fuck out!
You know what? I'm just gonna say, you do you, Korekiyo. You do you. No evidence. There's no evidence that he killed Angie? Is he blind?
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
There is evidence.
What? You do realize bluffs like that won't work, yes?
The weapon that was used to knock Angie unconscious in the empty room. That weapon tells us the whole story, Kiyo.
That's not possible. I think you may have misunderstood. Apologize. Come on, apologize. 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 Apologize.
No.
Come on. Apologize. 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 Apologize.
Oh my gosh, I just had the stupidest idea. I have a friend that I play Pathfinder with, and he does a voice just like this for one of his female characters. God, no. I think I'm never gonna be able to unsee this now.
Seriously, what the hell's happening?
I have no idea what's happening with Kiyo. But I know what weapon he used on Angie. I have to prove it to him, or I guess her, he, her, he/him. Like I said, whatever Kiyo identifies as. Kiyo identifies as Kiyo, okay?
I have nothing to admit.
Oh, get ready.
You are simply wrong.
Oh, it's been a while. I'm out of beat.
Yes, I'm not the culprit.
Prove
So I
to
have nothing
the
to
beat.
confess. I have nothing to admit.
Gosh, that background is so creepy.
You are
Like,
simply
why
wrong.
does it have to be that creepy doll? No.
Yes, I'm not the
Though, mind you, it probably has some
So
sort of
I have nothing to
significance to his
confess.
character.
Why
That's a
must you
Kitsune
force your
mask.
delusions on us? Your logic. That's merely a delusion. Well said,
Oh.
Kokichi. To continue this debate is meaningless. Why must you force your delusions
I think that's like a
on us?
yin-yang thing, at least.
Your logic. That's merely a delusion. Well said, Korekiyo. To continue this debate is meaningless. I told you I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me. Korekiyo speaks the truth. Such a sorry lot. Apologize. Apologize. Apologize.
Oh my, these are getting really
Apologize. I told
crazy.
you
Okay.
I am not the culprit.
Focus, focus, focus,
So why
focus,
are you
focus.
looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me. Korekiyo speaks the truth. Such a sorry lot.
Oh, what the heck was that?
Apologize. Apologize.
I am really confused.
Apologize. Apologize. I told you I am not
Screw
the
this.
culprit. So why are you looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me. Korekiyo speaks the truth. Such a sorry lot. Apologize. Apologize. Apologize.
We don't run out now.
Apologize. 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 I told you I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that?
Oh god. We almost got
You have
Frunoff.
no proof that Korekiyo is the killer.
Floorboard removed? Oh crap.
You I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that?
Okay, let's try this again.
You have no proof that Korekiyo was
Remove
the killer.
floorboard.
It ends here!
There we go.
Kiyo hit Angie with the same floorboard used in the seesaw trick.
I see. And how do you know the floorboard was the murder weapon?
There was a small patch of dry blood on the underside of the floorboard.
Angie's blood?
Blood that spattered there when the culprit struck Angie with the board. But that's not the only evidence that she was hit with that floorboard. There's also the bloodstain under the floor to consider. For that to be there, the floorboard must not have been in place at the time of the attack.
Good point. Had the floorboard been in place, her blood wouldn't have splattered beneath it.
Kiyo's earlier confession is further evidence that the floorboard was used.
Exactly, and all the evidence connects together so nicely in this game.
How?
If the weapon used to hit Angie is the floorboard from the seesaw trick,
It means the culprit knew about the seesaw, so the same person killed Tenko and Angie.
We're about to have a Paris Hilton moment. Like, if any character's gonna do it, I think he's the one to do it.
I believe that while Kiyo was setting up the seesaw, he was holding the board when Angie walked in.
And he cold-cocked her with a floorboard!
That's a good way to put it.
all you can do now is accept it. You even confessed to Tenko's murder already.
That's true. This is the truth.
Looks like we're almost at the end. All right, Shuichi. I'll leave the finale to you. Bring down the house.
Ichi, please, put an end to this.
Okay. It's time to play some Debussy, I think.
For Angie and Tenko's sake. End this class trial.
I understand. I'll go over everything one more time. Kiyo, I want you to confess. No, I will force you to confess.
Do it. Time for the closing argument. Closing argument start. Who is the culprit with the saw in the empty room? Even have a piece that would go here? Nope. Not that I see. I remove floorboard. I don't think that goes there, at least. What weapon knocked Angie unconscious? The removed floorboard. We know that one for sure. Did we lock in anything else? Duct tape, the path made of salt. Difficult place to kill. What was compressing the injury on Angie's head while she was carried? Wasn't this duct tape? I'm pretty sure it was the duct tape. Okay, what weapon killed Angie? Wasn't the gold leaf katana? Was the sickle place to kill? Is that what they want here? Whose effigy was stabbed with the katana? Those Kaedes. To handle this spinning katana. Hit the sliding lock. Yeah, that fits pretty well. When Angie's body was found, who unlocked the door? That was Kokichi, but we don't have that unlocked yet. What object did Tenko rest her head or forehead upon during the seance? Small stone Himiko brought. What weapon did the culprit sit up on the iron cage? Sickle place to kill. Okay, that did go there. That's what I thought. Wasn't sure. It could have been could have went at the other place as well, but I didn't think it would. Besides, Kokichi was responsible for extinguishing the candles. Half made of salt. How was the culprit able to move around in the darkness during Seance? Half made of salt. And the final piece of evidence has to go somewhere here, well, until we unlock the other ones. When the culprit approached the cage, that's not it. How did the magic circle get erased? When Angie's body was found, who unlocked the door? As if she was stabbed with a katana. What weapon killed Angie? Well, it was the gold leaf katana. Does that want me to put that there? Okay. Kokichi's lockpicking. There we go. We got something to put in there. Kokichi extinguishes the flame. Yeah, we did help good old Kokichi extinguish those flames, didn't we? Crosspiece under the floor. Ooh! Who was the culprit with the saw in the empty room? That where that goes? Stomp hard. But disconnecting the scene. Yeah, I think that goes there. Whose effigy was stabbed with a katana? It was Kaede's. And the final two pieces of info. The culprit approached the cage. The magic circle get erased. That was footsteps kind of emanating the scene. And then this fits right in here nicely.
This is the truth of the case!
Is it?
Let's look back at the first murder. It was late last night. The culprit was in the empty room on the 4th floor. The culprit was preparing the seance murder they had planned. To use the floorboard as a seesaw, they had to cut the crosspiece supporting it. The plan was to make the same preparations for all 3 empty. This would divert suspicion away from the culprit and whoever picked a room.
I will say there's one thing I heavily dislike, and that's the fact that I can't do the feature to review words that we miss in this scene, because I accidentally skip them sometimes.
To cut the crosspieces, they needed a saw. I imagine they got one from the warehouse. They were planning to cut the crosspieces in all 3 rooms. However, when the culprit was working on the middle room, the unexpected happened. Angie walked into that room and saw the culprit making their preparations. She needed some fire for the ritual and had gone to the room for a candle. At that point, the culprit had not finished the setup and was just cutting crosspieces. Angie might not have concluded that it was tied to some kind of murder plan, but now that Angie had seen it, the culprit couldn't use the seesaw trick. Any other person might have just given up, but not our culprit. The culprit took the floorboard they loosened and struck the unsuspecting Angie in the head. The culprit did not want to give up on their plan and had to improvise. They wrapped duct tape around Angie's injury to stop the bleeding. Then they picked up her unconscious body and carried her to a research lab. While she was unconscious, the culprit hurried to tie up this loose end. But because they were in a hurry, they made a crucial oversight. They didn't notice the duct tape had peeled off and was under Angie's body. Without that evidence, we may never have figured out the culprit's trick. Carrying the supplies they needed, the culprit returned to the ultimate art lab. Locked the front door
from inside
and took out the katana they brought from their own lab. They then stabbed Angie in the back of the neck, finally killing her. Then, to further confuse us, the culprit attempted to make a locked room mystery. First, they used rope from the warehouse and hung 4 effigies upside down. There were 2 reasons for this: to overwhelm the room with an occult atmosphere, and the other was the key to locking the room. The culprit stuck the katana into Kaede's effigy near the rear entrance. And spun the effigy around to twist up the rope.
I'm so mad that it faced Kaede like that.
After enough turns, the culprit let go and headed for the rear door.
Slowly started to spin just like a swing set.
Once released, the effigy began spinning, and the gold leaf katana with it. The handle of the katana then hit the sliding lock, locking the door. A difficult trick, but remember that the lock was so loose it moved at the slightest touch. The culprit also would have had the opportunity to attempt it many times. Once complete, the door was locked, but the duct tape was left behind. Perhaps the culprit noticed it, but by that point, it was too late. The room was sealed. There was no way for them to get back inside. Then, this morning, we opened up the room and discovered Angie's body.
With Kokichi's help, of course.
But the culprit wasn't finished. They wanted one more murder. To do that, they manipulated us into performing this seance. Of the 3 empty rooms, the middle one was chosen for the seance. I was invited by Kokichi to take Kibo's place in the seance. Tenko volunteered to be the medium, but she never imagined it would get her killed. To perform the seance, the culprit claimed they needed something for Tenko. A small stone that Himiko had brought from the courtyard. Tenko, at the culprit's request, bowed her head until it was touching the stone. That position was instrumental in making sure the murder went as planned. Next, Kokichi and I placed the iron cage over Tenko, in the middle of the magic circle. The culprit then volunteered to drape the white cloth over the iron cage. We didn't realize it at the time, but that was a deliberate decision by the culprit. They needed to set up the murder weapon that was used to kill Tenko. While they were covering the cage with a cloth, they secretly placed the sickle. Finally, 4 of us placed the wooden statue on top of the cage. The culprit used the weight of the statue to keep the murder weapon in place. After the preparations were complete, we began the seance. In complete darkness, we each stood in one corner and sang the Caged Child song. When the song finished, the soul of the dead was supposed to enter the medium. But our culprit had another plan: to commit a murder in the darkness. Right after we started singing, the culprit began making their way toward Tenko. It would have been quite difficult to do in total darkness, but our culprit had a guide. They used the lines of the magic circle drawn with salt. The culprit felt for the salt and used it to guide them along. And when the culprit reached the center of the circle, they found the floorboard that had its crosspiece cut off the night before. Then lifted up their foot and stomped down hard on the floorboard. The floorboard lifted up like a seesaw and pushed Tenko's body up toward the ceiling of the cage. Tenko was stabbed in the back of the neck by the sickle on the top of the cage. She was killed right before our eyes, and we didn't even see it. After committing the crime, the culprit followed the salt back to their corner. Finished the ritual and had us light the candles. We followed the culprit's directions and removed the equipment used for the seance.
The order we put it on with the same people that had to put it on originally. Which was also strange.
And discovered Tenko's body. And while we were all focused on the body, the culprit picked up the sickle and dropped it under the floor through the hole in the corner of the room. Ironically, the final step of the murder was unwittingly carried out by us. The culprit had planned the murder so that we would unintentionally destroy some evidence. That evidence was the magic circle that the culprit used to navigate in the dark. However, the culprit didn't know that Kibo had taken a picture.
Oh lordy. Those fingernails, now that I think about it, that might be also a reason why he has his fingers all wrapped up, I guess.
He really saved us. Without that, we wouldn't know what changes were made to the circle. But now we know for certain, and we know the culprit drew the magic circle. Korekiyo Shinguchi, the ultimate anthropologist. You're the culprit behind these murders.
Oh, Korekiyo.
That's where my detective work leads us. It all fits.
Sweet Korekiyo. There were times when it's necessary to admit defeat. Admit? Yeah. Okay.
So you finally admit you did it.
Unfortunately. Yes. Yes. It's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. My one regret, my only regret, was not being able to make 100 friends.
What?
100 friends?
Like on Facebook, you mean? Or Danganronpa?
It was my dream to make 100 friends. Oh, it's so unfortunate! I was so close to 100!
Don't tell me that's really your whole... Is that really your motive for committing the murders? What the hell?
What are you talking about? I do not understand a word of this.
I'm disgusted.
Who gives a fuck? Let's vote for this kooky bastard and be done with this already!
Roger that! One voting time! Coming up!
Now you listen to us, Monokuma.
The heart racing excitement as...
The heart racing excitement!
As the blackened and the spotless finally face off!
It's voting time!
I like how they're both ignoring Monodam. I'm hoping they team up and kill him finally. I'm still gonna kill you both. Last trial. Voting time. Who should we choose? You know what? After all that, I still think it's Hime... No, that would be really stupid of me. We know it's Korekiyo. Weird man, you. For female. Hopefully they tell us, because I'm kind of confused.
Now then, it seems the voting has finished.
I'm wondering if he's just a
See the
trap
result.
or a reverse trap. Because they're two different things.
Now then, it seems the voting has finished. Let's see the result.
At least Korekiyo didn't do a salty vote towards one of us this time. That was so hilarious when Gurumi did that.
Who'll be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
And Gucci! You might say, she is Gucci! Gucci bandages, you know? Last trial. All rise.
I'm happy with that result. Very happy. All those mono coins. What was that thing at the bottom? I didn't actually read that.
Whoa! Seriously, you're correct again!
Absolutely
Amazing! This is the third correct verdict in a row!
all right.
You managed to get 12 correct verdicts in a row, you'll proceed to the bonus round, but... what? You can't get 12 with the amount of people we started with.
How's this gonna last that long?
Meep.
For now.
It's finally over.
No.
No, not yet. I haven't heard his answer yet, Nia. Yo, why? Why did you kill Angie and Tenko?
Right!
Yeah, he no need to kill them both, no matter what motive he have.
Oh?
Motive?
Hey! Did your motive have something to do with the transfer student who was resurrected? Even if it did, though, how did that trigger a murder?
Hey!
Don't tell me. Were you actually scared of the resurrection ritual, Kaito?
Shut up!
Shut up! I never said I was scared. The resurrection ritual had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it? Because we're friends. I'll tell you. I never once believed in the ritual. I would never kill someone over such a silly thing as that.
What?
It has nothing to do with the motive?
Eh?
Then why?
Yes.
For the one I love.
There is someone that I love.
From the bottom of my heart. Someone so dear. Someone I long for.
I love her with all my heart. And she loves me with all her heart. Yes, we vowed an endless love to each other. Forever bound by fate. None can come between us. We are bound by an intense love. No matter what anyone says.
What?
Bragging about your perfect love life? Screw you, buddy. Some of us aren't that lucky. I can't even get Shuichi to give me a baby. So to see this lover of yours, you had to escape.
Don't tell me.
That's why you killed Angie and Tenko. But why did you need to kill both? If you asked me, or if you asked, if I did it to escape this place, my answer would be no.
Wonderful.
Because I have no need to escape this place. The one I love is inside. Inside? Oh, for the love of... If he secretly has like someone else's arm and or hands sewed to his body, I'm going to freak out.
Wait!
Don't look at me. I'm not his lover.
Yeah.
Calm down. I don't want a disgusting shit-stuffed bitch like you anyways.
Kersploosh!
Hey!
Yo, who's it? Who's this person you love?
Hey,
It really one of us? When I say inside, I do not mean inside this academy.
You see,
I mean inside me.
sister.
Yes, the one I love lives deep inside me. My dear sister.
Huh?
Sister?
Wait!
Don't look at me. I am not his sister. Oh yeah, that's very obvious. You look nothing like the person that we were just shown.
Right?
Well, duh. If you were his sister, he would have killed himself already. That's mean.
Wait! Your sister? Didn't you say she was your lover? Oh, that's disgusting.
Whatever is the matter?
It's not that difficult. My sister is my lover.
I loved her so deeply. And she loved me so deeply.
Wow. That took a turn for the even weirder.
The fact that we were siblings meant nothing to us.
Danganronpa, you already missed the Wincest train. You know? I said that my little sister can't be this cute has already set sail and taken off and sold millions.
They called it forbidden love. But none could stop the love we shared. Oh, how I long for my sister's warmth. The only time I felt at peace was when I was enveloped in my sister's warmth. For my beloved sister.
I had to.
Always messing around.
You had to escape from here, right?
No.
No. I had to kill for her.
Huh?
What?
Sister.
Sister was very sickly. She was always in and out of the hospital ever since she was a child. Because of that, she didn't have many friends. She always seemed so lonely.
However,
even if I could be her little brother and her lover, I couldn't be her friend. So I thought I'd find some friends. Friends for my dear deceased sister.
Huh?
Deceased?
Do you understand?
My sister is now a ghost, so her friends should be ghosts too, right?
For my beloved
For
sister.
sister's sake, I've killed many. I sent her 100 friends. Whoa. That's what you meant by making friends. You meant sending them to the afterlife for your sister. They were all wonderful people, worthy of being sister's friends.
Huh?
What?
Incomprehensible.
This is too impossible to understand. Too impossible. Even Kibo doesn't know how to take this.
Sister.
Sister is very happy.
Yes. Yes, Korekiyo. I am very happy. Thanks to you, I am not lonely.
What?
Can it be the lipstick version of Kiyo is?
I am Korekiyo's older sister.
Thank you for looking after my little brother. Oh. I guess the writer has watched Psycho because this really, really reminds me of Norman Bates, if you Meisters have ever seen that. Just Jesus. A split personality of his dead sister. Wow. So not quite a trap, just Norman Bates. Okay. This is a rabbit hole I do not like one bit.
What?
What the hell?
Yes.
After I lost my beloved sister, I was so distraught, I nearly went mad. But sister came to save me.
I am pleased.
She visited me during my seances and stayed inside of me.
Sister.
Now I can see her whenever I want. I'm never lonely.
Korekiyo.
It's wonderful, Korekiyo. Your love made the impossible possible.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Is this really a spirit?
I told you.
He's just delusional.
What a sad girl who can't even believe in the power of love.
Shut up.
Ew.
Either way, he's totally out of his mind. I mean, he killed for a dead chick. You said it. He said he killed a lot already, right? It wasn't just the two of you killed, or the two you killed here.
What was that?
Yeah, guess we got another murderous fiend on our hands. Like what I thought might not be a thing. What? Danganronpa's kept the crazy serial killer thing going every single time we play a main series Danganronpa game. Seems like it was already, he was already crazy before he got here.
Because?
You didn't kill to escape from here. That wasn't your purpose from the get-go. You just wanted to slaughter a bunch. You're nuts.
Unacceptable.
Do not make me out to be some bloodthirsty, indiscriminate killer. I only kill girls who I think are worthy of being sister's friends. Only the best for sister.
Huh?
Only girls?
Oh, wow. Direct opposite of a certain murderous fiend we know who likes to kill pretty boys. Wow. Okay. I see, so when we were deciding on who should be the medium, that's why you suggested her.
Before that, let's choose a spiritual medium. It would work best with a girl.
You said it would work best with a girl.
I spent my time evaluating all the girls here.
Wonderful.
Besides Maki and Mew, who are all worthy. All worthy of being sisters' friends.
All worthy.
Why, you?
Hey, how come I'm not included? I mean, not like I care.
Then...
And the second victim could have been me. And Cook died in place of me. Oh, poor Himiko. I'll do it, yeah. I can't think of anyone but me. That Angie spirit should go in. No, I'll do it.
Excellent.
Himiko would have been great, but Tenko volunteering made me so happy. A noble, earnest heart made her a perfect friend for a sister.
Wonderful.
He even infiltrated the student council to protect Himiko.
Huh?
What? Infiltrate? Really?
But
how did you...
It was obvious to me. I have studied many people. Yes.
Can this be?
She stood up against the darkness of the school all by herself. All for her beloved friend.
Beautiful.
I was so touched by that. Wonderful. She was a perfect sister for her perfect friend for sister. It was so beautiful, blindingly so. I can't understand why you didn't like her, Himiko.
Well,
though I was planning on having you become sister's friend too eventually.
No way!
What? You do all that for? Whoa, you did all that just to kill. For you to go that far, that's pretty impressive. You were you were interested in the caged child just so you could use it to kill someone, right?
Let's see.
It interested me as an anthropologist, of course, but more than that.
For my beloved
I wanted
sister.
to kill the sister. I cannot deny the yet overpowering feeling.
Are you okay?
Kaito, are you okay? Look, kind of. I don't blame Kaito. This is really weird.
Don't worry about it. Let's focus on Kokichi right now. Allow me to explain, though. I did not plan to kill both of them. I knew I would have plenty of chances after escaping this place.
However...
But Angie walked in on me preparing, and I ended up killing her in a different way. So I figured I may as well kill someone else too. After all, it would be a shame to just waste the Seance trick I prepared.
What is that?
You're talking like you killed her just because you could. No, not just because I could. I was sending another friend to dear sister.
Korekiyo.
Korekiyo, you're such a thoughtful little brother. Was it bad to get greedy?
Oh dear.
You're right. Because of that, now I can't send 100 friends to sister.
You understand now. Those were the circumstances of Korekiyo's crime. I do not understand. This is all too impossible for me to understand.
Why?
That's right. Killing for two friends for your sister?
But how?
That's wrong. That's so wrong.
Oh, don't get so worked up. There's something I learned after sister's death.
Do not worry.
Death only changes the person's form. The soul lives on as a ghost.
That's right.
That's right. Even though I am a ghost now, I am always by Korekiyo's side.
Sister,
Thank you, sister. I love you.
Cut it out already.
What was that?
Don't understand anything you're saying, yeah? Nothing makes sense. It's not fair. Why did Angie and Tenko have to die for something so unfair?
Well...
Because death is unfair. Deal with it.
And another...
All deaths are unfair deaths. Why do you think news stations get such high ratings when they're reporting about death? Because everyone likes unfair deaths.
Maybe.
Well, if you look at it like that, this whole world's killing game this whole killing game embodies that philosophy, right? Gifted high school students forced to play a killing game. Man, if people were watching this, they would get a kick out of it. The ratings would be through the roof. Well, I won't say anything because spoilers for different games, but just saying for anyone who knows what I'm saying. If people were watching this, knock off the bullshit. Only sick fricks would enjoy watching this.
You got me!
Hell yeah! If I wasn't in this killing game, I had so much fun watching.
So then...
The nature of this killing game is yet shrouded in mystery. But my role in it is over. I have finished my explanation to you, friends.
Sister.
I think I should go and see her now. My beloved sister.
Sister.
I was unable to send her 100 friends. At least I can see her again now.
Korekiyo.
It's alright, sweet Korekiyo. Come to me.
Oh.
Looks like you're already prepared. Now then, let's get started. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Punishment time!
Huh?
Punishment time?
Sister.
My beloved sister. At long last, I'll finally get to see you again.
That's right.
Yes, from now on, no one will try to stop us. We can be together without having to hide our love for each other's. Or from others.
What?
Wait, I can't accept this.
Therefore,
Like I said, there's no such thing as a death that can be accepted.
from an anthropological
Why do you
point
think
of
so many different cultures have funeral rites? Why do you think rumors of ways to resurrect the dead never cease?
Yes.
The living must find a reason, however forced to accept death when it happens. How you come to terms of death also determines how you live, yes?
What was that?
It was not the answer I reached. How about you? That was the answer I reached. How about yourself? How will you live a life that faces death?
Now then,
Prepared a special punishment.
very special punishment.
For the ultimate anthropologist, Korekiyo Shinguchi.
I shall observe.
I will watch over you all as a ghost. As your friend, I will watch over you.
That's right.
It won't just be me and Korekiyo. All those who died will be watching. This is so creepy, man.
I'll be watching to see how you face the death of your friends.
Humanity is
I'll be watching forever and ever.
It's punishment time!
Korekiyo. Cultural melting pot.
Makes sense, ultimate anthropologist and all.
Bye. Have a nice fall.
Okay, yeah, dancing around the ritual file and cooking a person. Monodam! No! They're melting him? Wow. Oh, no way. It's a soul assembly?
Not so fast. People die when they're exercised, damn it. Especially by their beloved ones. Feel the spell.
Oh my god, that was kind of awesome, but holy shit. Oh, what? Why'd Monodam run in?
why? Oh, Monodam, why? What the? I think my cute child would commit suicide. Some Poko. Oh, it's so cute. So freaking cute that he would kill himself because he couldn't get along. My Monodam committed suicide. Had I known this would happen, I would have been nicer to him. The only reason Monodam obsessed over getting along was because everyone but me bullied him.
That's right.
Yes, the other Monocubs drove him to suicide, but not me.
Hey.
Who's Monodam?
You already forgot. That's kind of scary, actually.
Well now.
Well, looks like our class trial's been wrapped up without incident, so I'm gonna take back this here Necronomicon. Seems like a waste, though. You guys sure you don't want to use it? You guys should have brought someone back to life and added them to your roster.
Shut up! How long are you gonna keep talking about that?
Told you.
Ignore him. The whole resurrection ritual is obviously a lie. He's just trying to shake us mentally to get us to panic.
What's the point?
I'm assuming you think another murder will happen if you do that, right?
Who can say? What a waste! If none of you were gonna use it, you should have let me have it. Then I could have resurrected one of my dad's siblings.
Which one?
I don't know. They're all pretty terrible, actually.
Wait, did one of us die? I could have sworn it's been just the two of us this whole time. Oh wow. Monotar was losing it.
It's too bad you missed your chance to raise the dead. That's what you get for doubting me. Too bad.
So long. Farewell.
Well, we'll never know if it actually was something we could do. Now he still talks about raising the dead.
Always messing
Man, this is stupid. What people believe in is up to them, but living people shouldn't have to suffer because of the dead.
Of course.
The living are more precious than the dead, no matter what. That's not something a coward like you should say. Just shut up. Leave me alone.
But if there's one thing this case has taught me, I thought there was a god watching over us, but there isn't after all. Not in this Plain Academy.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Well, that's why we have to work together, right? Face it together. Our ultimate talents are the best weapons we have.
Going to do his best.
I'm going to do his best to keep everyone safe. We're going to want to protect everyone.
But your talent is entomology.
I don't want Shuichi to use his ultimate talent anymore. I'm getting sick of class trials.
You're right.
Yeah. You're right. I think we all are. Even the creator of the game. Hey, your talent as an assassin is way more trouble. When are we gonna use that, huh? Never again.
Okay.
I'll work hard until everyone trusts my ultimate talent. Huh?
That's right.
It may not be possible now, but I'll put in the effort so everyone can trust me. I won't run away anymore. I want to survive and escape this place with everyone. Maki. I see. I wonder how long that'll last. What if your true calling as a killer shows? Don't underestimate her. Maki Roll's one of my sidekicks.
Got a minute?
I don't remember being your sidekick. Also, didn't I tell you to stop calling me Maki Roll? Oh, you guys are so close now. This must be a powerful bond of friendship. But I would have preferred it to happen sooner. Especially not after losing 7 people. You're right. Only 9 people left now. Well, what do you know? The dumbass can do basic math. That's savage. That's right. 7 pieces of poop have been flushed away and only 9 remain. We're the danglers.
Actually,
by that calculation, doesn't that make you one of the pieces of...
But...
Just 9 of us.
Well, you know.
Humans are like weeds, too numerous to count. 7 of us are dead. Doesn't mean much in the end.
Shit.
That's totally what the heartless robot is thinking, right? Right.
How rude.
No, I'm not thinking that. Your blatant robophobia is simply inexcusable.
But you know...
But hey, none of us gave up, right? I know we're all gonna escape. I'm not gonna rely on a god, spirits, or the dead.
I believe in you.
Just you guys. I believe in all of you. You have to believe in the you that believes in me.
Okay,
Or believe in me that believes in you. Either works. Kaito.
Well, of course.
You're right. Those of us who remain can start over.
Hey!
Hold up, Kibo needs to apologize to everyone for the whole student council thing. And there's only one kind of apology that I'm willing to accept.
How exciting!
Yank your head off and smash it on the ground with all your strength. Got that? Well, that wouldn't actually break anything. We've discussed his old man strength.
No way!
I've never heard of such an intense form of apology. What is this? Some robo simpuku? It seems like everything is settled for now, even though we're missing her.
You alright?
Miko, you okay? Anything Quanta can do help? You can tell Quanta. Quanta even give you piggyback.
Hey!
I think we should let her have some space for now. That might be best for her.
Okay.
I remember how I felt. Oh, Quanta understand.
You're so dumb.
God, Himiko's such a liar. Huh?
Because I'm a liar.
Personally, I don't think lies are exactly a bad thing. Let's face it, you wouldn't have any free will if the world was comprised with just the truth.
But
even then, I don't think it's good to lie to yourself, you know?
Right? What are you saying? Think about Himiko's feelings a little bit.
Nuh-uh.
I only said this because I thought about it.
Because?
Himiko has been lying to herself about her own feelings. Sure, she's been holding back. Hey, what are you repressing? What are you trying so hard to hold back, Himiko? What? Hold back? The pure rage, sadness, despair? What? We know she doesn't show her feelings very well. Or hasn't till now. Expressing your feelings is perfectly natural. You shouldn't feel ashamed at all. So, if you feel like crying while you're talking to Angie, go ahead and cry your eyes out. You'll feel better when you do. Well, I mean, laughing makes you feel better too. And venting your anger onto something can really cheer you up like degenerate males. Hit them hard. Bring your heart by crying, laughing, and venting your anger, Himiko. Let it all out. Let it all out. Gosh, it reminds me of one of the EDs from, what was it? Fullmetal Alchemist? That had some great music. Tenko, Angie, I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely without you too. And I gotta survive. And I still can't go to where you are. And I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. For the both of you. Here we go.
Damn it.
Damn it. Himiko cried for a long time. She cried as if she was releasing all the emotions she had bottled up inside. Before we knew it, as if lured by her doing so, we began to cry. The tears were shed, or we shed, I can't even describe it. We were crying about what we had been through and what was to come. Sadness, hatred, frustration, discord, anger, love. Tears filled with emotion. At the very least, they weren't tears of submission. They were tears to push us forward. Resolve us. God. They already missed the crying train. I did that for like the last two trials, okay? After a while, Himiko finally calmed down. However, going to get her piggyback. I called it. Going to such a gentleman.
Is she hard to carry, Gonta?
No, she fine.
She's sleeping very peacefully.
She's all tuckered out after crying. Robots sleep well after leaking their oils too, right?
What the hell?
I have told you many times that I do not use oil as my fuel source.
But wow, that really surprised me. She passed out as soon as she stopped crying.
Yeah, but she looks so peaceful sleeping like that.
She probably felt better after letting it all out, don't you think?
Yeah, I hope so.
Then Gonta carry Himiko to her room.
Make sure you focus real good on your back, you hear me?
Oh my gosh. You always have to ruin the moments.
You'll need that focus if you want to feel her little mosquito bites poking ya!
There's no way he'd do such a thing. Gonta is a gentleman after all.
While we were heading back to the dorms, I suddenly noticed Kaito had stopped in his tracks. Kaito, what's wrong, bro? Kaito, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. I just wanted to get some night hair. Don't worry about me. Go on ahead. Fine, bet I'll be back for a training, Kaito. Don't you flake out on me.
Huh?
Are you sure?
Well...
Anyways, don't do something like this again, okay? If you dislike scary things, then you should have just said so earlier. I thought you were sick.
You were worried about me.
Yeah, worried about your stupidity. The Kaito roll ship has sailed. Ha! Still haven't warmed up to me, huh?
But...
Maybe not, but I feel like the walls we had up are coming down a little, you know? Perhaps those walls were her enemies. It seems like she doesn't want to wait anymore.
Got it.
Yeah, because of me.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. You sound like you're bragging, Kaito. He basically did drag her out of the safety of her walls.
But like I said, I'm going to get some air before I go back. You can go on ahead.
Okay.
Sure. Got it. See you tomorrow.
Got it.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
No training? Okay. I'll just go do sit-ups, squats, and push-ups in my room. After our goodbyes, I returned to my dorm room. Didn't notice what was going on with Kaito. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Damn it.
Oh no, is that the shot Maki gave him earlier? Don't tell me she did something very deadly by accident.
I don't have time to be dying. I still haven't gone into space yet. Damn it. No way am I gonna die here. No way.
Oh please, not best boy. We've already lost enough of them. At least they even it out with this episode. Actually, it's been pretty even all along. I got the Tokyo Ghoul mask. Not sure how I feel about that.
Do you want to save? We do. Well, Meisters, I think that's where we shall end it for today. As always, if you did enjoy the episode, please do leave a like and or share the video with your friends if you think they might enjoy, and don't forget to leave a comment. Keep it prevalent up into today's episode so that we don't spoil anything, Meisters. As always, if you have yet to join the Academy, hit that subscription button and make sure you smack the bell beside it to turn on notifications so you don't miss any Danganronpa goodness in the future, Meisters. We'll see you next episode. Peace out. Kind of sad, actually. It feels so bad for Himiko, but yeah. Anyways, peace out. Boo, boo, boo.